I'm glad you brought that up. Maybe
Are you?
yeah, body modification. All right, I want to talk about ancient body modification. Maybe Wendigoon's ever had some of his creepy ass.
He's an expert. He mentioned before.
Because one of those things I saw was that I think this is that South American tribe that would practice the skull elongation, where they wrap the baby skulls, and you can see photographs of babies that have had it done, and their eyes are bulging. But what they end up with is these skulls that have been found down there, and they look like X-Files aliens, okay? Like legitimately, and they're real. They're human skulls that through that practice have been made to look like this. Now, here's what all of the ancient alien people always go to. They don't say those are alien babies, because of course we can DNA test them, or maybe, the rest of it's biologically human, whatever. They say, why were they doing that? Why did they want to look like that? Who were they trying to emulate? Maybe there was some sort of alien overlords that were coming down, teaching them agriculture and animal domestication. The beginning of the skill tree and Civ, pottery, and they had these big heads, and they were like, if only we could look like the gods. Because imagine, if you will, because in Christianity and all of the Abrahamic religions, right, like God looks like us. It's a key part of it. It's right there in the beginning somewhere. If your God didn't look like you, it is.
We are made in his image. Yeah.
Imagine if God didn't look like us. How
is that a real one? No,
I don't think. That's not a real one.
Beavis and Butthead's
That's a wood carving.
Well, I don't know what Zach's trying to do to me here, but there are real skulls. I don't know. Why don't you pull up that X-Files alien autopsy footage from the 90s too?
You know what's funny? It's like, Kyle, I was I was putting like stock into what you were saying, and like this image, really
that just undermined your story.
God damn it, Zach.
So you think it was some alien emulation of I was thinking like,
I don't think that at all. No. I'm just saying, like, I've often watched those shows where that's their pitch. Like, hey, this is why they did it. Because they want to tie everything that's a little peculiar in the past to aliens, right? And if you can like rope that one in to make that sort of a supporting argument for whatever other kooky shit you've got, like chariots in the Bible being spaceships or whatever, like that's a good one to start with.
For sure. The Bible talks about, Wendigoon absolutely knows more about this, but like, you're familiar with like the Nephilim and all of that.
Oh,
I would love
audience members who haven't heard of it. Can you bring them up to speed?
Yeah. So, all right, 5 minutes out the gate, we're in my zone. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
So in the Bible, there's mentions of things called Nephilim, which also often translates to giants or mighty men. And they're mentioned in the book of Genesis as being the children of what happened when the sons of God mingled with the daughters of men. So some people think this to be the idea of righteous people with unrighteous people, but some take that literally and think it's the products of angels breeding with humans. There's mentions of angels coming down to earth, so a lot of people draw that out of it. See, they got Kyle. It was
You're dangerous. I'm gonna keep the head on his swivel.
Yeah, Taylor's next, don't worry. Anyway, so giants are mentioned in the Bible. There's some famous ones like Goliath, for example. There's a giant that I believe it was Noah faced giants in his age. So there's a few places that they're mentioned specifically, but there's this idea throughout the Old Testament that they were a reoccurring thing. Like when it ever talks about they go to Canaan, that they see giants in the land of milk and honey that they have to wipe out. There's giants among the Philistines, what have you. So the idea is there's this biblical record of giants, and there's also a record of giants throughout other written histories. Like pretty much every group of people either had a legend or history of giants somewhere in their culture. They tend to pop up around the historical record. And the idea is, since the Bible is the oldest, in my opinion, the oldest, debated between that and like Zoroastrianism as being the oldest religion ever, that it's the first evidence of giants existing. And in the Bible, they're called Nephilim. So yes, Nephilim are like the starting route for a ton of crazy.
I'm sorry to interject.
Theories.
We had a guest like 2 months ago arguing with me, telling me that Zoroastrianism wasn't the first religion. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I watched that episode.
I do remember that. Yeah.
That was Aiden. That was Aiden. Yeah.
I remember that became more of an argument than I thought it would be. And I was just kind of like, oh damn, like now we're like getting heated over like demons and shit.
If it helps Kyle any, the theory that most people have, like myself, who believe that Christianity was, or like the Bible, Judaism at the time was first, is that Judaism and Zoroastrianism were simultaneous, that they kind of branched out at the same point in the historical record. Which I have my own theories that Zoroastrianism is mentioned in the Old Testament as being other religions that are mentioned around the time of Abraham, but blah, blah, blah. You see what I mean? You got me in my zone.
No, that's interesting.
Well, I have been admiring.
Yeah, I like this stuff.
Since the start. I was like, it's cool when we have like a professional level guest on the show.
I like where I'm a Sunday school teacher. Like, you know, a lot of what I do is talking to, you know, people my age and stuff. They're like, oh, well, you know, Christ wants us to live this way, blah, blah, blah. But there's also a lot of, all right, kids, so I found this verse in Genesis. I think it means that aliens came to Israel, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I get to go on my whole rants and stuff. So
that's
so the Bible. So the Bible is kind of exacting when they give the dimensions of something like the ark. Do they ever tell us about how tall these giants are supposed to be? Because that's so important.
Yes, yeah, it does. Whenever it mentions Goliath, which is, there's times that it mentions giants who stand with their waist at the height of man. That's more general. Goliath is specifically mentioned as, I think, 9.5 feet tall.
Yeah, shit. Well, all right.
Like Robert Wadlow size.
Now, when you say 9.5 feet, are you accounting for like their feet being tiny? Did they actually use their foot as a foot in that time? Because to be fair, these are poorly fed Jewish men.
That's true.
About 5,000 years ago.
Correct.
These are small fellas.
Well, I think they used the measurement from your elbow to your wrist or something like that.
They use the measurement of cubits. They use the measurement of cubits. If I remember, it says that he was 6 cubits and a span, which a cubit's about 1.5 feet. So that comes out to a little over 9.5 feet.
Yeah, see that's the problem. So like, obviously there you're dealing with some exaggeration because like I don't believe that in that time, even with like a pituitary thing or whatever makes people gigantic, that he'd have like the diet capable of surviving to manhood and being a 9 foot tall being.
No, you know what would be funny is like if like that's entirely true. But Goliath was one of those pituitary giants. And so he went out to fight David, and they're like, there he is, the giant. And he has like crutches. He's like, oh. Look at that beast. And they just bully him with a stone. We were going to see if you guys had any medical intervention for him. God, don't kill him.
Old school.
Do you know about the Potsdam giants?
That sounds familiar.
It was a Prussian infantry unit in like 1675. All right. Now, I can't remember if it was like the Prince of Prussia or the guy in charge, or at least in charge enough that he could have his own military unit at his whim, selected only the tallest men in the whole fucking Prussian Empire. Yeah.
Stupid question. Where is the tech tree in 1685? Like,
they got like shitty guns, like
early Imperial age. You have access to trebuchets,
like stuff. Yeah.
Shitty guns. There'd be a lot of cavalry and still like armor, I would imagine, and like silly hats with points on them, and probably lots, swords and pikes and shit.
Swords, pikes, and the occasional.
We're 100 years from the American Revolution, and like guns being that good.
Yeah, they were like, that's the time they were figuring out, like, we got to phase out armor because we're now making like muskets that can blast through stuff.
Well, anyway, this guy who I think was probably gay was like fascinated with tall men. Okay, it was like his jam. So he like searches the kingdom, and
there's gay about that.
There's this quote from him.
Hey, watch your mouth.
There's this great quote. And he's like,
wow, you can't have a harem of tall men or it's gay.
That's exactly. He's got this great quote. I want Zach to find it. Well, I've given some context clues to his identity. I just can't remember the fucking, Prince of Prussia's name. But he said something like, keep your this, keep your that. Give me a tall man.
You may be on to something.
But he was like, this would be a good video, I think, because like this regiment apparently was really tall guys, because he searched the whole like country and he even had a breeding program where he was trying to like pair up the tallest women and the tallest men to, make an even taller regiment. He never used them in battle because he was so beloved. They were so beloved.
What on earth?
I'm looking at his Wikipedia. The height of the king who organized this, 5'3". And so imagine how monstrous this battalion, and apparently the minimum height was 6'2", which back then is enormous. Like
today,
400
6'2" is
years
usually
ago,
the tallest guy in a room.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Like if you're 6'2", 400 years ago, like you're probably starting conversations walking.
I bet
he would
find us the average
them.
height for the times that, because that's important. But I would guess that you're like Harley, essentially. You know, like you're like a 6'5", 6'6" guy. Like everybody's like, oh shit, one of them are here.
Yeah. Yeah. They'd think there's something like wrong with you, or they'd be just like jealous of like, wow, that guy gets to eat every day.
No, it'd be hard to be like, again, I think it would be, there's a reason people used to be smaller, and because it didn't work to be big. Like a big man can't like work. All right, if you're 5'5", you do a day's work. That gives you enough grain to support your 5'5" body or whatever from the boss. I just don't think the 6'6" guy can do enough work to get him enough grain to like make up the difference. You know what I mean? He's not working hard enough to get enough grain more than the other guy. We're all getting fed the same.
I wonder if we got shorter after agriculture. Is that something I made like when we like that people were taller, that like some hunter, or maybe this is like some other thing. They found like hunter-gatherer tribes that are pretty tall because they ate like so much meat, like Neanderthals, or I guess Neanderthals are like kind of a different thing.
Giant.
Yeah, it was the
Nephilim. Circles back in. Yeah, there you go.
It all circles back in.
Does that mean the angels are black?
No.
What?
Angels are it's a total misconception that angels are even people, man. You've read the Bible. You've seen the orb of eyes.
I had to make the black joke.
The
athleticism. I know it's not theologically correct.
No, see, that's not canon.
the ophonym, right? The
canon. Oh, I love calling the Bible canon.
So it's probably like furries, because they make just more art than anybody else. So back in the day, it was probably the weird, sick perverts that like grimace-shaped women making all the art.
That could be true, because everyone else is like, okay, I'm gonna go work while you do that.
Yeah. But the furries make talented art. These are clearly like kindergarten class projects.
Yeah, some dude was like absolutely gooning to those, and now we're like, oh, it was an object of worship, and it's like, no, just all the other Neanderthals were like, me no like ugla, he weird pervo. Like, do you see what he be making in his cave? Despicable. I want someone to find like a secret civilization.
The Silurians.
That would be the coolest thing of all time.
Yeah, the Silurians. I think the Silurian hypothesis, I suppose, is that maybe some of the dinosaurs lived and became intelligent, and maybe either went underground under the sea or left the planet.
Oh, I was thinking more like human societies that have been lost to like cataclysm or something.
Maybe Antarctica is really interesting for that, because Antarctica
could be. We don't know.
Used to be not frozen and not at the bottom of the planet, and it's a gigantic continent. Like I was talking about this the other day, how big it is. It's like the size of all of North America, almost like all of Mexico plus the Gulf of Mexico and the United States and most of Canada is how big Antarctica is, and it's covered with 3 kilometers of ice. There's a lake under 3 kilometers of ice in Antarctica called Lake Vostok that the Russians discovered, and they drilled a fucking hole down 3 kilometers to the bottom of this thing, and they took water samples of what was down there. And they were so goddamn incompetent, they contaminated the water samples with like kerosene on the drill bit, and it had like bacteria that's normally occurring bacteria. But they found this one kind of bacteria they'd never seen before, and then they never talked about it again.
And so we obviously have gone up there and drilled an even better hole because we're better than Russia.
Not into that one, but I think the Norwegians or somebody drilled a hole into this other Antarctic lake that's 1 kilometer of ice above it. And when they sent the camera down there, it was writhing with life. There were it looked like an aquarium. There were so many fish like gathering by the hole they had.
No way.
Yeah.
Life without sunlight is interesting.
It's been cut off from the rest of evolution.
Would it be supported by like geothermal
millions of years?
I think so. That's what happens in the really deep ocean.
Yeah.
Oftentimes it's like it'll be in those pockets in particular under Antarctica. Sometimes it's super high salinity, so it can't freeze, and it's under so much pressure it can't freeze. And also hydrothermal. I'm sure that's going on too. They also found a crater down there under Antarctica that they can see with some kind of LiDAR technology or some shit, some sort of radio imaging, and it's multiple times bigger than the Chicxulub impact that took out the dinosaurs. Like there's a gigantic crater down there. but it must have happened, when Antarctica was on the other side of the planet, millions and millions of years ago.
Yeah. But humans wouldn't have even been around to be
No.
making a cool civilization then. Like maybe they
We're like
find some ancient hominids or something, like maybe stone tools, but nothing really that cool.
Like the people, I think humans like us have been around for like 250,000 or 300,000 years, but like things like us have only been around for like 1,000,000 years. Like some smart bipedal ape folks. I don't know. Homo habilis is one of them. I think that means handyman in Latin or something like that, because they found his tools.
Homo erectus and Homo habilis. Those were the two.
It blows me away how much
ancient
progress
ones.
we've made recently.
Yeah.
Right? So like Kyle said, I'll take it as fact. Humans like us, right? The hardware have been around for 250,000 years. And it seems like we've gone 249,000 years making barely any progress technologically at all. And then in the last 1,000 years, from 1,000 to 2,000, all of it happened. The year 1,000, what do we have? Like banging metals with hammers? That's as far as we made it.
Yeah, we had in the year 1,000, we had taken a step back. It took 1,000 years for the rest of the world to catch up to where prime Rome was, a millennia prior. After Rome fell, it was like, all right, well, how did they make these concrete structures so strong? And they're like, damn, well, we didn't write that down. Nobody wrote that down.
I'm asking, not accusing, just to set the tone, right? Is it possible that is kind of a Western lens we're looking through, and that places like China or Japan didn't have the same dark ages? I don't know.
I think that we've taken multiple steps backwards across various cultures through time, and I'm really drawn to that idea of an ancient, advanced civilization, because I want them to have I want the stories from lore, from the Bible, and from maybe even from Greek mythology to have that little grain, that little kernel of truth to them. I saw some crackpot on Rogan talking about the Ark of the Covenant maybe possessing some sort of nuclear or otherwise high-tech element to it, because there's a story of the Philistines opened the Ark of the Covenant and the entire city was beset by boils, and they died from cancerous tumors, 50,000 of them. And he's like, you see, it was radiation. I was like, I don't know. I think they just made this shit up. But I would love it if the Ark of the Covenant was a small plutonium reactor that dated back to the civilization 10,000 years before it that had figured that shit out, or maybe 100,000 years before it that had figured it out. Because the way plate tectonics work and the erosion and everything on this planet, if we just Twilight Zone disappeared, all the people disappeared and all of our gadgets and everything stayed behind, it'd be gone in a few million years. It would all erode away. There'd be some plastic junk and there'd be some concrete somewhere, but the rest of it would go away. There's that whole project, and the point of it is to design a warning sign for nuclear material that will still be dangerous, say 100,000 years from now. How do we make a sign? Yeah, but maybe
what's better than that?
Well, they spent a lot of money trying to figure out what was better than that. Zach could probably find the pictures that won. It looks like thorns to me. And the project was not only to design warning signs, but also maybe to design the facility that it was stored at to make it look like a place you don't want to go.
Yeah.
The words in English written there are really interesting. What lies beyond here is waste. It holds no value to us. It is poisonous and dangerous. It kills and destroys. It has no value to you or to any who would venture further. Go forward at your own risk. It's something like that. Like what the English words are. Every language
sounds like a quest.
Right?
Yeah. How much money did they spend? Because I would have slapped a frowny face on there. Just boom, everyone knows immediately.
But the Mugwai people of Papua New Guinea, they smile when they frown when they're happy.
Oh, true. Well, once they invent boats and get off Papua New Guinea, we can cross that bridge. But I don't think they're going to be the ones exploring northern Russia.
The Magumbo people could stumble upon this radiation in 100,000 years. And I promise
people.
They won't have advanced very far in 100,000 years. Surprise, surprise. So they will not know that this is radioactive.
They seem to be set where they're at.
Dude, they so do. I wonder what that is. What's the commonality with those groups who are set where they're at?
I have
Isolation.
Yeah. Yeah, isolation. Except I would say there's a difference between chosen non-interventionism and isolation by virtue of the fact that you literally have no capacity to leave.
I suppose so. But
Yeah,
I think it's wrong to I think it's wrong to go fuck with those people if that's what you're getting at. I think we should leave them alone.
Oh no, just let them do their thing on their island. Like throw, if anything, like let's try and give them a little fun once in a while. Like drop a couple of breeding sows in there. Give them some pigs. Like
that would be really nice. Actually,
yeah, just do something nice for them.
But then, like hoof and mouth disease is now introduced to the island. All of their livestock dies out immediately.
if that happens, we did our best.
Look, that's what happens when Whitey tries to do right by people. We come in there with some goats and some chickens and be like, "Here you go." Immediately, they get avian fucking bird flu or something, and all of them be wiped out and dead. Just leave them
better
alone.
than if the Chinese show up. They'd have them fucking building infrastructure.
You know where the world's
I don't
smartest.
like them. I'm happy if they have
I know
bad
you
time.
don't like the Sentinels.
I don't like them. I don't like the Sentinels at all. I think they should be a little more welcoming, a little more hospitable. The fact that every time someone goes there trying to do nice things, they give them gift after gift after gift. And the moment they get the opportunity to murder the hand that's feeding them, gifting them whatever, they take it. I've had enough. Yeah. I've tried to be your friend as a member of modern society. At this point, I think we should go to war. I think we should. Oh, do you like war? This is America. We fucking love war. Let's go. Yeah. And see how that rolls.
They're on an island off the coast of India. They're not bothering America.
I think you're talking about the 51st state, right?
I'm talking about the Sentinelese Islanders, and we don't want another.
And they're bothering as much.
We don't need another welfare island. Thank you very much. We've got Puerto Rico.
They are bothering me right now. Let's do something about
why
it.
we should leave them alone.
True.
I don't like the idea of like intervening in their shit because I think they're living the best life that there is. You know, do you? I think
you're fetishizing primitivism. We need to drop scary animals on their island.
You're fetishizing. If they were living a better life, they'd be psyched about the new Elden Ring game, like I am.
They would too. They'd love it. They'd put pants on.
Do you know who Christopher Langan is?
Yes,
Christopher Langan.
I'll let Woody guess first because I do know.
He's a Missouri resident.
Sopranos character.
He's a Missouri resident?
He is a Missouri resident, and he happens to be
the bouncer with the highest recorded IQ ever. He would put Bert to shame, right? Isn't that Christopher Langan?
Yes, it is. He has the world record for the highest IQ. He's the smartest man in the world. He is a farmer in Missouri, living his best life. That's what he has chosen to do. So I just think that the Sentinelese Islanders are living their best life. Living in the jungle, fucking dicks hanging out, spears and shit.
See, Kyle says he supports them. Yet when I tried to Sim City in Civilizations 5, he didn't support me at all.
Wow.
Instead, he came in there like I would to Sentinel and killed my fucking
Dude, you had been
settlers.
in the Stone Age for millennia.
True.
It was a mercy kill.
I had a glorious undefended.
You people didn't even have religion yet. That happens on
we
turn
didn't waste
12.
our resources on armies that defend us because we were worried on hospitals and universities, and Kyle came in there and took them.
If people were worshiping the sun.
If we were gonna fuck with the Sentinelese, like if we drop like 3 elephants on the island, do you think they win or they lose that fight?
They lose that fight.
Oh, I thought we were gifting them white elephants as a problem.
Oh, we're putting elephants on there, and the elephants will go, "I'm not familiar with this. I'm panicking," and they'd run around and knock trees over, and so then the Sentinelese would have to band together. Kind of like their own little Avengers.
I think if they fuck with those elephants, the elephants will kill them. But I think most likely the elephants would starve to death in like, I don't know, a couple weeks or something like that.
No, but the Sentinelese would show up immediately on the beach and start harassing the elephants.
They'd lose, and then they'd go up in the highlands like they always.
You think they'd lose? They have range weapons.
I thought they were like stone weapons.
They have no
metal
way to kill an African fucking elephant. I've seen every now and then an
They're
African
pretty
elephant
big.
goes crazy and like massacres a town, and they shoot that thing like 30 fucking times with guns before it dies. Like then these islanders have bows that they made.
Yeah, I think if you like stabbed it with like an
Probably
8-inch
right.
long knife, you'd
It'd make it
almost
so
get through
mad.
the epidermis. Like
You would
it's
make that elephant so mad if
It
you
can't
actually
be. Their
do hit a
skin
tender
can't be
spot.
that thick.
it's or maybe like the fat too, not just the skin, but it's like it takes an enormous amount to kill an
They're
elephant.
tough as nails.
Asian
hard.
elephants in India like destroy whole towns sometimes. And I've heard before, I don't know if this is true, but I think the Asian elephants are more aggressive, but they're not as large as the African elephants, or maybe they're equally aggressive. I don't know. Either way, an
it's a
elephant is a
project to
problem.
use an Asiatic elephant's womb to gestate a woolly mammoth using the genetic data they
It's a cool
have.
project. Get Elon on that.
They're working on that, and they're working on bringing the Tasmanian tiger back. They have like a lot of its genome completed, and once they're finished, I think that they just like inject that code into like, I don't know, a leopard or something similar-ish. But they had DNA from like a tooth of a Tasmanian tiger and something else. That would be a cool ass animal to bring back because they looked ridiculous.
That
And
would be
like
sick.
you could introduce them back into the wild because they're not an invasive species. They belong there.
To put a bow on this, though, totally Team Woody. Fuck the Sentinelese. They're all,
Thank you.
oh, we want to be fucking dumbasses on our little island. Go away. And
Mhm,
it's like,
mhm.
bitch, you don't realize you're not scaring anyone away.
Yes.
Like,
This planet is a competitive nation. It's a competitive place, and you're not competitive, so you're gonna lose.
Yep.
Would you show them Star Wars? Would you just like throw up like one of those 1080p projectors that you like cast on your room wall that costs $30? Like just throw it up on a cave wall or a tarp or something and show them Star Wars. Like just show them that, or Apollo 13 or something. Like
I'd show
something to
them
really
Lord of
blow
the
their minds.
Rings.
Well, they just believe all that was real. like
Of course they would.
oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
What if they were like,
It's
yeah,
like
we've seen that guy
worshiping
before?
Gandalf.
What if they said they knew Gandalf and they'd seen him in the old times? What if they said that's Raruku, the Gray Wizard?
I'd know they were lying about yet another thing.
Yeah, the other shows that I remember from that era, like the History Channel, it would always be like, did Hitler make a pact with the aliens?
Yes.
And then by the end of the show, we won't truly know. Fuck! I spent 40 minutes trying to find out if Hitler made a pact with the aliens or whatever it might be, and there was never an answer. Every single time in every single one of those shows, it was always, we'll never truly know.
Yeah, because they were making shit up. They're like, was Hitler closely aligned with satanic powers and spells? And then it's just like a bunch of guys being like, well, the guys who are into it getting interviewed, like, I mean, frankly, there's too much evidence to even hide. And what about this? He launched this attack against France on this date and using this code 666. What does that tell you? And then it's some guy who clearly got roped in because he was like leaving an actual historic conference, and he's like, I can't say for sure he didn't try to co-opt satanic powers. And they're like, interesting. And it's like says Oxford under it, like just some guy who's like doing actual research having to like make a statement on something retarded.
They were into like lots of pagan ritualistic stuff, lots of
Is that real, or is that some History Channel early 2000s
Was
silliness?
it really a part of their plan, or just like a last ditch hope? Because I remember when I was doing poorly in school, I might have checked out a book on hypnotism, hoping that this would be an easier way to get good grades.
No, there was lots of.
It's like longer than the book you're supposed to read for the class.
But just built into the Nazi Party and built into like the shows they would put on. Like there was lots of Nordic ritual stuff. There was this idea of sort of taking Christianity and changing it a little, twisting it toward more of the like Viking sort of Celtic stuff. The idea was to co-opt Christianity a little bit, but also racial purity and the Aryan race were going to be a central theme. And so Goebbels was on the search for the Spear of Destiny and various other relics from the Bible.
Was
that
he
would help with
really?
victory.
Yes. That always seems so ancient aliensy to me.
No, that's history.
Goebbels was looking for the Spear of Destiny during the war.
Yeah.
Like it was going so well. Hitler's like,
I mean, I don't think he
day
didn't
off.
like strap his. I think he was actually going on expeditions. I think he was strapping the lederhosen on, hitting the trails, and looking for relics.
Maybe Goebbels was like smart about it, and he's like, "Mein Führer, I've learned that the most accurate location that we can decipher so far of the Spear of Truth is on," and I've actually got the photo here. It's a resort in Greece. And it's just, it may look beautiful, but that is part of how sinister it is. And so I think perhaps 3-4 months there might be enough to uncover more. That's what I would do if I
really
did.
I mean, I spring for the all-you-can-eat buffet.
And it will take many virgins, and I will pick them.
You've got all of these pieces of media that fictional, like for example, like Raiders of the Lost Ark, right? Like the Nazis looking for the Ark. You've got, I think it's the first Uncharted game. I don't know if you guys ever played it. It's part of the story was the Nazis got lost in their U-boat in the Amazon looking for the lost city of El Dorado. So there's a lot of these fictional stories that tell some sort of tale of the Nazis looking for something mythical. So Spear of Destiny, sure, why not? I mean, Mance Raider's still looking for the fucking Horn of Winter, so.
That's true. If there was a Spear of Destiny, I'm glad they didn't find it, Hopefully no one finds it. It's probably too much power for any one man to wield.
There's 2 or 3 examples of the Spear of Destiny. Obviously, we don't know if any of them are the real thing. One of them's in the Vatican. One of them's under a church somewhere. I was reading about it the other day. There's been multiple Spears of Destiny. There's photos.
And what's the... Not that you have to know all this, but what is the lore? What is the origin of this?
Stabbed Jesus?
It's the one that stabbed Jesus. But if there's
they even know that guy's name. The Roman soldier's name is a known quantity because I always hear them use his name. And it's this spear that he killed Jesus with while he was on the cross. It's the idea is if you're in possession of it, you can't be bested in battle. You'll be victorious, etc.
Also called the Holy Lance, Taylor. If maybe that your
Spear of Destiny is so much cooler.
It's so much cooler. So much fucking cooler.
I don't know. Holy Lance is pretty.
Keep your Holy Lance. I'll stick with my Spear of Destiny.
Then we'll see who emerges victorious. I'll be on a beach in Greece. Any luck? No, I'm sunburned as hell. I'm just.
So to Kyle's point, primarily Egypt, Syria, and Jordan.
Okay.
3 powerhouses.
I mean, again,
I've heard of Egypt. No, I've heard
of Egypt. You know what? I've heard Egypt is in their heyday right now. It certainly wasn't. Dude, that would suck to be born in a country and be like, I mean, we can look back and be like, America's we were at our peak, right after World War II. Nobody could fucking touch us in anything. Imagine being Egyptian right now, and it'd be like, oh, don't come at me 7,000 years ago.
You don't even know.
Before the Romans with their newfangled technologies bullied us and all that, we were a big deal.
Library of Alexandria.
This is, yeah.
I heard the whole idea of so much knowledge being lost at the Library of Alexandria is nonsense.
It'd be really sad for it to be true. So it's easier. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're always finding that various pieces of geometry and stuff were discovered way before. It was always find interesting that they'll find some cuneiform tablet or something that indicates they had some knowledge of geometry or astronomy too. When you look at those really old civilizations, and they've got all that stuff built for astronomical or astronomy purposes to predict the eclipses and stuff. I still don't know how they're doing that. I don't know how you look at the stars and predict when the next eclipse is going to be.
Oh, I have no idea.
I'm completely reliant on smarter people for this task.
But those proto-Mexicans with their flat pyramids figured it out.
Proto-Mexican. I mean, do you think the Aztecs would have been embarrassed if they saw the Egyptian pyramid at the same time concurrently?
Oh yeah,
they were high on their own supply for how.
They'd be like, when the sun sets, you can see a snake, and you cannot see the sun behind my pyramid.
Yes,
my pyramid blocks out the sun. It is made to the sun god Ra.
Were there many Aztec pyramids? I know there was some, probably multiple.
I don't remember if it was Aztec or Inca or Maya or what, but it was those step pyramids.
Ziggurats?
Yeah, kind of like a ziggurat, yeah. Except not nearly as big as the Giza pyramids.
I always say it. What I said is a thing that like one of the unique things about them. When the wind blows, they make a certain noise. Like when the wind blows past the thing, it makes a noise. There's the other one where you clap and it like reverts the clap back.
The sound will go to the top. In this case, a pyramid. You know? And if it's there a cavity or a temple, like in this case, the echo will come back to you. If you clap in front of an Egyptian pyramid, nothing happens because the sound goes away. But here, the sound comes back. Why it sounds like a bird? Don't ask me that, because we don't know. But this is really impressive.
And then when the sun sets on one of the equinoxes, you see like an animal's shadow like walk up the building or something on one of them. So they did a lot of stuff like that. But I think that pales in comparison when you look at the Giza pyramid, that gigantic
in
pyramid.
fairness, they're both
I don't
really
think
cool.
You know, like they always say those are burial tombs or whatever. I don't even know what the fuck they are. I don't think they found people in the Great Pyramid. I don't think there was a mummy in there or anything.
Didn't they find Tut in a pyramid?
I don't know where
He was in a
thought,
tomb, Taylor.
he was in a tomb underground, I thought. But I don't think that there was a mummy or like a king buried in the Great Pyramid at Giza. I don't think they know what.
Isn't that theorized though that like they were, but I mean thousands of years of bandits and thievery, like everything's been looted out of it.
I don't think there's a tomb chamber though. Like they don't. I don't think so.
Is that just like hokum nonsense where they were like, oh, and the Egyptians, when the pharaoh died, his servants would be thrown in with him, locked in the tomb, so they could serve him in the afterlife.
So that happening, they would do that. They would do that they would like put your dog in there, your pets, like your favorite fucking knife, like your favorite foods. They would set the place up like there was going to be a finger snap and everything in this room was going to be transported to the afterlife.
Like
with
that
you.
dead black guy with the Xbox.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. But
Would I be a total asshole if I was like, my favorite thing is my wife. Bury her with me.
Yeah, they do that. Honestly, she might
she's
be
still alive at this point.
She might be volunteering. She might be like, yes, yeah, let's go.
Dude, I'd be like, and bury me with the entire Chicago Blackhawks organization. And then I'd do a little bit for St. Louis and Beyond the Grave.
Like, Taylor, some of these people are retired. I haven't forgotten.
Patrick Kane being dragged screaming into my catacomb. Just to...
Did you see that interview where they asked I think it was the GM of the Chicago Blackhawks, just hockey questions?
I didn't see that, no.
Oh, they had no idea who this guy was. And they're like, do you like hockey at all? He's like, yeah, a little bit. And they're like, name your 10 favorite players. And he's like 9 of them were Blackhawks, like going back a bit. And he obviously knew what he was doing. It was pretty cool. I think you'd like it even though you hate the team.
Oh, I would enjoy content like that. I'll have to try
when Genghis Khan died, they did that thing where they killed all the guys who buried him, and then they killed all the guys that killed them.
But how do we get this story?
Because I think someone was like, yeah, I killed the guys that killed the guys that buried him. I don't know shit. And then after he said that, they killed that guy. But the guys who heard it in the other side of the room, they told us. They told me.
Yeah, seems. I don't know about this one.
You always ask those questions, and it's like, because historians say so. Because historians,
he is a skepticism.
I feel like
he's a bit of a flat earther. He doesn't believe it unless he saw it.
It's I feel like
I'm a hollow earther.
You immediately become Mac, being like, "Have you looked at the files? Have you combed through the documents?"
I think it sounds like I think it's a real common sense question to ask to tell a story that's like, do you know that Genghis Khan's burial party was murdered by a secondary group, and then this secondary group was killed by a tertiary group, and then this group themselves were executed to ensure the secrecy was upheld? And it's like, okay, so who talked about it? And who wrote it down? Would they not immediately be like, oh, Mr. Historian, we noticed you wrote some stuff down. Can we take a peek? And he's like, no, not for at least 3,000 years. They were burying it like medical studies. No, you can't look at this until, the year 2000.
Well, they never found it, nonetheless.
Well, Is anyone looking?
I mean, probably not. He's somewhere over there in Mongolia, I would imagine, right?
Mongolia is a pretty country. That would be if I wanted to travel to Asia, Japan would be neat because of how many people there are and all their cool vending machines and technology. And then Mongolia seems almost like untouched.
Taylor,
There's only
they'll
like
mail
4
used
million
panties right to you. You don't have to go to Japan find a vending machine.
No, I do.
Okay.
I have to go. It's probably like it's like seafood on the coast. It's just better. Like that's what you get. You get fresh Japanese panties right out of the vending machine, and then afterward you get yourself a Sprite Zero Chill.
You know, like 28 days later, as scary as the zombies were, when they finally get to the military camp they've been trying to get to this whole time for safety, and it turns out the military camp a bunch of sadistic rapers who want to steal their women and put them in sexual slavery and kill them and put them in a ditch. It's like, dang, the zombies didn't discriminate. like you got stuck.
You're right. The people were bad. I think you'd still argue the zombies are the biggest problem in that universe.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm more afraid of a person than I am any kind of zombie, though. Like people are conniving and tricky and just brutal and sadistic. Like at least the zombie eats you and gets it over with. Like people are awful.
People stay problematic, right? Most the zombies, like you said, are dumb enough that you can build up your environment, and then they're just wild animals. I mean, people survive amongst tigers and bears and shit like that all the time. They just build up their environment until they're protected from it. You stay inside the house or what have you. People, it's hard to protect yourself from them. They're clever.
Yeah. Yeah, we dominate the animal kingdom so hard. Like none of them are even like who's even second place. Like
I feel like
one.
if you really want to dominate the animal kingdom, you have to start breeding them out of existence, right? We need to bang so many donkeys that purebred donkeys aren't there anymore.
We've on accident done that to whole species where we're like, oh, I'm sorry, was there some kind of anteater that used to fuck around here? Not anymore. I needed cheaper paper.
I don't know what you're referring to, but it's still funny.
I don't know, like cutting down the Amazon wherever anteaters live.
There's a really good series on YouTube, and it's like all of the animals that the Romans would have seen that are now extinct, all the animals the Egyptians would have seen that are now extinct. And there's a lot of them. It's kind of sad. There was some sort of pigeon that was super numerous. There was a hunting competition, and the winner
loss.
They killed like 3 billion of them or something. The winner of a hunt would kill 50,000 birds. They just killed them all.
What do you kill them with?
Shotgun.
Wait, when was this?
I don't know, 1900s, early 1900s.
I thought you were talking. You seamlessly went from Rome to this, and I'm like, no, how are they getting so many?
Yeah. I thought it's like rocks.
No, I was saying like
lots of spears.
There's a YouTube series for animals that the Romans would have seen that have gone extinct. For the Egyptians and so on and so forth. And just as an example of another animal that used to be around not that long ago that we drove to extinction were these pigeons that we killed off of 120 years ago or something like that.
We need to do what we did to Cro-Magnons and just breed them out of existence. I need some panda people, right? Like find something that makes a baby with people.
I think we came from Cro-Magnons or something like that.
Cro-Magnon, yeah, I think that's a prerequisite to not prerequisite, preempted Homo sapiens, right? Or maybe they probably lived side by side for a while, and we were like, get a load of these fucking idiots, and then we figured out like boats and buildings and like
that's war. You touched on it. That's what I would want to go back and see that went extinct. The other people, like the other hominids, is what they're called. The other things that were a lot like us that had their own like little communities of intelligent beings.
Pygmies.
In Indonesia, they had these hobbit people that were like 3.5 feet tall or something that were people. And then obviously the Neanderthals. And there's more. There's several other little groups of people they found that are distinctly not human, but intelligent, 2-leg walking hominids that fucking made clothes and spears and hunted and talked to each other and shit. Maybe not talk to each other.
But they were close enough for us to mate with, like, and create offspring.
Not that I know. The Neanderthals, yes. I don't know.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
The Hobbit people they found in a cave in Indonesia. and so like
You can
I don't think they know very much about.
I see
There's-
some
there's
shit on
still-
Motherless. You can
yeah.
mate with more than you'd guess.
There's still a race of short people living in Indonesia. They're called Indonesians. They're there. Yeah, maybe not 3 feet tall, but they're little fellas, I think.
They are little fellas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to be. You're living on there's a lot of islands there. You're too big. Like you think some
There are
giant
those,
Swede is gonna thrive there? No, it takes too many calories.
There's that one group of people who live on the coast or something. They have extra large pancreases or something like that. They can hold their breath for really long because of some
Oh, that-
genetic difference they have. That's
like more
cool.
robust lungs or something.
Yeah, we should all have that. I think they can like scrub CO2 from their blood more efficiently than we can or something.
The Nepalese have something like that with like oxygen saturation, don't they? Like they can just survive way better than other people at those ridiculous altitudes.
You would imagine. So
Do you have any other
I
info
was wrong.
about
I
like
was so wrong.
about like non-pigeon animals, like a good animal
The
that
oryx?
the Romans had,
Oh, like
or the Egyptians? Either one.
there was some there were smaller elephants with bigger ears. There was something called an oryx, which was like a buffalo bison type thing. None of them were like, oh, there was the maned there's some sort of a maned wolf. And then the one in Australia, there's that old video of that might be the maned
Oh, the
wolf or whatever.
Tasmanian devil.
That still lives. There's plenty of those, I think. I don't think those died out.
I thought because you know that old picture, it's like from the
Looney Tunes?
1896 World Fair.
He's spinning around real fast, getting all rowdy.
Yeah. So they show the old Tasmanian devil and it has like
Tiger,
stripes on the
Tasmanian
back.
tiger. That's what
Tasmanian
it is.
tiger. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the last. They have the last living one, and they're like, "Here it is, the last living Tasmanian tiger." Are there any fantasy animals that you think may have actually existed? Because I think there's like a non-zero chance that something like a dragon existed.
I was about to come down on that same side.
Because
could
there
be
were
some-
terror birds, but the terror birds died out like 10,000 years ago. But there are Native American legends about what's called a thunderbird in the Pacific Northwest, and that is a region that the terror birds lived, and they were gigantic birds. Like they looked like monsters from a movie.
Are those real
gigantic birds.
legends though? Like, did they have writing enough to pass that down, or
Oral
is it just
tradition.
some guy now being like, "Yes, it is. It was pretty scary." Like, what else is there?
I would imagine it's oral tradition and maybe some like pottery carvings or totem
Okay.
poles or some bullshit.
They also have one to question oral tradition of Stone Age civilizations.
You've read the Bible, right?
Yes.
Okay, never mind. No correlation there. Just checking. I think
the
dragons might have
dragon,
existed.
yeah.
Maybe I think what could have happened, because there's a lot of legends about dinosaur-like things, like Loch Ness Monster. I don't believe in, obviously, because
Yeah,
we
it
don't
would be
found it
too
by
big.
now. But there was a dinosaur that looked just like what the Loch Ness Monster supposedly looked like, called the
Mhm.
plesiosaur. And there's this maybe Amazonian dinosaur that's supposedly spotted. Its name is hard to pronounce. It's like Mantampe Bembe or some shit like that. But they often think that it's some sort of quadruped dinosaur that lives deep in the jungle that they keep going on expeditions to try to find. And then the idea of dinosaurs being in all of those legends for all around the world, from South America to Asia to even Europe, all those legends about people fighting winged, fire-breathing, reptilian monsters. It just seems like there's a lot of commonality there. So maybe there was some sort of, I don't know, maybe a terror bird or maybe some sort of weird pterodactyl type thing.
I've got one. I think something like the Loch Ness Monster isn't too big a stretch. What is it? A big sort of worm-shaped fish?
It's a plesiosaur. It's I'll show you.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like a stretch at all to see I don't know, big fish swimming around that's tube
Well,
shaped.
it's not a big fish.
It would be a big reptile. And I think a big pushback on it is like that thing would be too large to have existed or got that big in something as small as Loch Ness. Not that Loch Ness is small, but
There we go. Yeah, sure, Loch Ness, I'll agree. But
Yeah.
we're talking about fantasy animals that could exist. And
sure.
and there are way bigger things than that in the ocean.
Yeah,
I
but we
think the
know about
blue
most.
whale is the biggest
It is.
animal to have ever existed in the Earth's history, which is kind of neat. That like, I think of the giant animals as kind of extinct, but the biggest one of all is here right now.
Yeah, the biggest one we know about.
An even bigger one. That would be sick.
The biggest one we know about. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be cool if we found some skeleton of something that the blue whale is descended from, or something even larger. And Kyle, I wanted to bring this up to you because there was a huge victory this week for Team Taylor Dinosaur, that they found a lot of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and it had fossilized in it scales, which has thrown a wrench into the anti-science feather narrative. What do you think?
They had scales and feathers. So
no, according to this thing I spent no time looking at.
Yeah,
scales. And how would it have scales and feathers? Just like sparse, shitty feathers through the scales?
Yeah.
That sucks.
I don't know why you're so anti-feathers. I think feathers are pretty dope.
Because he's like Jurassic Park.
I'm very much locked into the Jurassic Park depiction of them.
How many of those have you seen?
I've seen the first one, obviously. I've seen the second one. The third one I did not care for. And then the Chris Pratt ones came about, and I saw the first Chris Pratt one.
That's a lot of Jurassic
I think
Park.
It was the first one where they were running around in what looked like fucking Epcot, and then like people were panicked, and then a pterodactyl snatched that lady, took her right away from those kids,
threw her in the water, and then another water dinosaur ate her.
And I thought that water dinosaur was like, we need to spend a little more time on this. That's a really cool.
The whole movie
dinosaur.
should have been the water dinosaur. That thing is awesome.
It made the T-Rex look like a bitch.
Well, they do that.
It did, but
movie.
Who's afraid of water dinosaurs?
Anyone in the water.
Yeah, anyone in the water,
which
but
is easy to not be.
That's true.
They are on an island. It's a bit of a problem. I lost track of Jurassic Park movies years ago. My girlfriend's super into them, so she watches every one. But it's like, it's absurd. How do we keep repeating this pattern of let's make a dinosaur park?
Yeah,
and oh no, the dinosaurs got out and killed people. Like
at some point, Deutsche Bank is going to be like, yeah, I mean, we're not funding it again. It has been an unmitigated disaster all the time. Each time you say the dinosaurs will not get loose from the cage, and then what happens? You bring your little amber walking stick in here and say, "Oops, it has escaped from the cage."
He was like, no. He kept saying, "No, spared no expense. Maybe a taller fence. Maybe why aren't they underground and us looking down at them? Why would they ever be behind a thing that
I could have
electricity
broken
goes
out of Jurassic?
As soon as the power went out, it was game over. How had they not planned for a storm?
Yeah,
How did they not plan for a power
and then
out?
the only thing between you and a dinosaur is fucking Jeff Goldblum's horny ass talking about fucking.
Feeling your wife up, you're getting all handsy with her.
If you put a little drop of water on my hand, then later in the movie, I'll fuck you.
Chaos theory.
Chaos theory. Yeah, it's like
Jeff Goldblum. It'd been great if what's his name just beating the shit out of him right there in that Ford Explorer.
Oh, that would be good, dude. I watched that scene when I was like 7 when that movie came out, and was like, this guy's a fucking weirdo.
Get your hands off my woman.
I remember wondering. I was like, I get why I get why Sam Neill is here. He's important. I get why the old man is here. I get why the lady's here. She's some expert in something. What the fuck is this guy doing? Yeah, I didn't even remember.
Yeah, what was Jeff Goldblum's thing aside from
dino sexuality?
Life Finds a Way was his thing.
Yeah, he was a scientist.
It was dinosexuality.
He was a chaos theory expert of some kind, maybe a bit of a philosopher, but that's all I remember. I don't remember him really needing to be there, because the lawyer was obviously there to sign off on legalities, and the dino experts were there because he wanted them to co-sign it because it would look good. I don't know why Jeff Goldblum was there with his chaos theory cuckoldry over there. He's like holding her arm, like watching a droplet of water like run down her forearm, and he's like stroking her forearm, talking about how I
don't remember.
He's explaining chaos. It's very early in the movie when they first get there. I don't even think they've seen dinosaurs yet.
They hadn't even seen dinosaurs. And you know what's funny is somehow that woman actress accurately portrayed both the disinterest and how off-put she was by him doing that. Like she didn't seem interested.
I disagree. She was laughing. She was laughing it up with him. That's not.
I remember fake laughs.
I remember. Yeah, but to a creep like Jeff Goldblum, a fake laugh is an invitation for a finger banging. You know, they don't read. He can't read nuance. He's all about chaos theory.
I wish he was the one that got ate out of that.
He is in the book.
Body.
He gets eaten in the book. I'm almost positive, but I think they wanted more Jeff Goldblum.
You remember the guy who sat in the porta potty?
The lawyer.
Yeah, and then he knocked it. The T-Rex knocked it down, and then he goes, "Ah!" Is he shitting?
I quote that part all the time. Like the kids are like, "He left us. He left us," because he just bails on the kids, and I'm just like, I would have also bailed on those children. First of all, what am I gonna do? Fisticuffs a Tyrannosaurus Rex? It's a Tyrannosaurus Rex. You don't need me here. If anything, I'll lure him away from you. And worst case scenario, only you'll die, but I'll get to tell your parents what happened. Like there is no reason to not flee in terror from a gigantic predatory dinosaur. I didn't get it.
But it would be tough if you were in that car with them. You can't, and he's already through the restraint. There's no way for you to run because it's going to take like 4 steps, snatch your ass up, and then turn his attention back to the car. Like you have to wait until he eats one of the children and then you break. Or you bring the small boy with you and toss him aside as you're running because the dinosaur doesn't discriminate. He's just hungry.
He's just hungry.
Yeah, he'll just munch that kid down, and then the way it ate the whole time was like tossing it up in the air and then snatching, which means you get a couple more seconds to get away.
I think in Jurassic Park 5, they like genetically engineer some super locusts that then spread all over the planet and start eating all of our food. But then Jurassic Park 6 happens, and there's no mention of that.
They had so much success with their initial 5 experiments that they decided to genetically engineer locusts. I haven't seen that one.
I didn't watch that one. I just caught like a few tidbits. Yeah, I have been divorced of the Jurassic Park universe for a while.
Everyone thinks dinosaurs are cool. No one thinks locusts are cool.
Yeah.
No.
There's a scene in the first Jurassic Park, the kid's holding binoculars. And I think the dad or whatever, he's not her dad, but he's like,
lawyer.
Put those down. They're expensive. Is the lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid's like, how do you know they're expensive? And he's like, are they heavy? She's like, yeah, they're expensive. Put them down. And that burned into my head as this core memory that like quality things tend to be a little heavy. Expensive things tend to be a little heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not wrong.
Yeah,
the problem was that kid's grandfather owns those binoculars and the SUV they're in and the island they're on. So it really didn't make sense for him to be correcting that kid anyway. He should have been kissing that little kid's ass. Oh, you having fun with those, Timmy? I think that was the kid's name. I think it was Timmy. Yeah. That was a good movie. That was before Sam Jackson did Pulp Fiction. He wasn't quite the star that he became afterwards.
Wait, who was Sam Jackson in the original?
He's the computer. He's the good computer programmer who's explaining. He's like pulling up Linux or something. He's like, I have to go through every line of code manually. And they're like, how many lines of code? And he's like, about 2 million. He's Sam Jackson.
I haven't seen that movie in so long. The last time I saw that movie, I wasn't even familiar with who Sam Jackson was. It's been 25
Why
years.
would a zoo be a programming problem?
I don't know.
Because the Newman character had done some sort of tampering with their system, so they couldn't turn the power back on, and they couldn't control the paddocks without like getting into the system. And that's all I really remember from that. But Sam Jackson was the cigarette smoking sort of computer programming guy. He ends up getting his arm. They did find him later, and just his arms hanging there. She's like, oh, thank God you're here. Oh, just like got his whole arm.
Oh, I remember that. I also remember like being scared for Newman when he had to get out of the car and try and fix the wheels or whatever, or like open the gate or whatever it was that was preventing him from leaving. And then that like horrible dinosaur with the fins on the neck.
Maybe?
So it's like it spazzes out and then it shoots like a bunch of gunk right in his face.
Wasn't there a 6-foot tall dinosaur that was scary that they could have used instead of lying about what the raptor is? Wasn't the raptor the size of a chicken or something?
Yeah, Kyle is a raptor apologist, but yeah, actual raptors were like little chicken bitches.
I don't know that there's a chicken-sized animal on the planet I couldn't beat.
That's true.
Oh, there's that scene in Jurassic Park 3 though, where when there's lots of the little ones and the guy like kicks it. He's like, get the fuck out of here. You can't have any of my sandwiches.
Exactly.
But then it shows up with like 80 of its buddies.
Sure.
and they all swarm him and start like eating him
They
alive.
nip at him, yeah.
Yeah.
But
True.
there must have been a 6 foot tall, made for Hollywood.
There was.
Di-
Yeah.
They
Absolutely.
should have used it.
I think that they just wanted to use the name Velociraptor. I think it was just another type of raptor.
The
because
little kind.
why-
And it's a cool name. No one can take that away from them. Like
Yeah.
Velociraptor is a really awesome
But
name.
they made it a cool name. I hadn't heard of Velociraptor prior to the movie.
Fair. That's a good argument. I also liked when Sam Neill threatened that 7-year-old for interrupting his speech in the beginning of Jurassic Park 1, where he's like, and also another thing to know about velociraptors, and the kid's like, those things don't look scary. And then like Sam Neill, who's like fucking 48, is like, this thing would fuck you up. Like,
He has the claw in his hand and he's
This
giving the
would
kid nightmares.
you. And I'm like, where's a parent? Like, just step in
Dude,
here. and
that
be
was
like,
a good. You know how it's show don't tell, like in
Mhm.
good storytelling. He made us scared of velociraptors before we knew they were a central part of the thing by
yep.
like sort of telling the story
That movie
instead of like some TV broadcast that just says velociraptors were really scary.
So
just watch
the,
that.
so the animal that is what they depicted is the Utah raptor. It maybe even is bigger than what's depicted in Jurassic Park. It's 20 feet long, but it's the same thing.
5'9" tall though.
Yeah.
That
It's about
dude,
right.
that would have been perfect. And Utah Raptor is a solid name.
I don't think it was discovered at the time.
Really?
Let's see, the genus was described in 1993. When did Jurassic Park come out? I thought it was like maybe 92 for Jurassic Park.
I was gonna say 91, but I'm just going off fuzzy memory.
It says the Utah Raptor was first discovered in 1975 by Jim Jensen.
93 for Jurassic Park. Was small. But then a woman, and they're making the nonsense up off their high gourds, right? So I don't know. It makes a little sense to me.
Another great job. But I mean, that's why those
Oh,
societies
best job.
cap out at 14 people. Like there's,
You know,
there's
All
no
of
way
us
to keep
messed
going.
up with our career path, but it's because it's clear that organized religion is the place to be.
I thought you
Organized
were gonna say
religion is the place to be.
hunter-gatherers.
That is
If
where
you
I truly
can-
belong.
Yeah, that's what we
It
should all do.
really is. I wish I believed. I truly do. And I wish there was something
Me too.
more to believe in. It would
It'd
be
be
so
great.
fucking comforting.
Give
What
me
I
some
just-
proof. Any
Give
proof.
me just a little. Give
I've
me
been
just
on
a
this
little.
earth for nearly half a century. I haven't seen a shred of evidence.
You got
Yeah,
this
just-
book where God is just popping off all the time. Anytime he sees some shit he doesn't like, he's sending an angel or a flood or some pestilence or some
People turn into
bears. You
salt.
show me one magical bear. If a bear walks down the fucking streets of my Atlanta neighborhood, I'll believe. That's all I need. Well, all right, not any bear. If they're like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
a circus bear, it got out of that. But like a magical bear shows up, I'll believe.
There were magical bears. There were murderous bears, if you recall.
Magical murderous
Yeah.
bears.
I
It
would like
was-
a bear that flies. I would believe if I saw that.
I told that story from the Elisha
yeah.
one. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Where
Hey,
I
Baldy!
don't know. Dank, are you familiar with the Bible? Like, or did you just like go to religious schools and like they kind of drilled it in your head, but you didn't? Not
They drilled that into my head, but I was just kind of like, it's not for me. So yeah.
Okay. When I was a kid, I was in the same situation, except I was so goddamn scared of hell. I was like anal about it. Like, I got to take this serious. This is real. Like, and I remember as a kid, like my thought process being like the teacher would say something in Sunday school or whatever about like hell's very real and people will end up there if they don't believe in Jesus. And it is torture for all eternity. Now let's talk about Job, or let's talk about Jonah and the whale. And I remember like all the other kids, like the teachers, the parents, they just kind of move on. And I would be like the one person who like was treating it like it was truly real in my head, where I'm like, guys, we can't be talking about Jonah. Hell is coming imminently. We need to be prepared for this. We need to be going for the big fish first, guys. And over getting older, I was like, damn, if a lot of these people really believed this, they would have been acting like I was as a kid. Like,
Oh no.
God, hell is there. It's imminent. We need to, everything we do needs to be fixated on not ending up in hell. What could
there are
matter in this
people who
material
believe.
plane? There are people like that.
There are people
but the
who
people
believe,
who
and
told
when
me,
you see them, when we see the people who believe, we stop and go, oh, that's not a real Christian. When you see a real Christian, the rest of them in the room are like, oh, he's not one of us. Because the guy who actually reads that book and does what it says cannot survive in mainstream life anymore. Like you can't live that way. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
See, one of the things that I do videos on like Celtic myths and stuff like that because a lot of them are like dying out and a lot of people don't know about it. But there was one story where it's like Celtic myths are things like the Kelpies, which are magical horses that could walk on water, and there's also things like the Nuckalave, where it's like this half man, half horse that had like a breath that would just rain pestilence down and all that. But then there was another story I read, and it's called the Ghillie Dhu. Right now, the Ghillie Dhu was a guy that lived in the forest, and he had clothes made of leaves and shit like that, which is where ghillie suit. That's where it comes from.
Oh.
Like the Ghillie Dhu, right? The guy that was wearing twigs and stuff like that and leaves, and sometimes kids would get lost in the forest. They would come across the Ghillie Dhu. The Ghillie Dhu would say, well, it's nighttime now. It's too dangerous to go out. Come back to my house. And like the first light in the morning, I'll take you back out. He would feed them. They would go to bed. The next day, they got up. He would lead them to the forest and go, your village is that way. Be more careful in the woods. And I'm like, why is this a fantasy story? That's just a guy that lives in the woods. I was like, see if he was like talking to the animals or like the trees moved when he sang or like moved out the way or there was some...
He's a forest guardian for Lost Travelers.
He was just
ticket to meet the fairies or something. I was like, this isn't a fantasy story. I completely believe this happened.
I completely believe there was an eccentric lunatic dressed in vines who would say, I'm familiar with this small regional area, allow me to assist you.
That I live in. It's like, this is where I live, my forest. And everyone's like, yeah, this mysterious creature. It's not a mysterious creature, it's some guy that lived in the woods. Like that's all it fucking was. But I never
maybe that was an early on.
Yeah.
Maybe that was an early on myth before there was a precedent set that they had to be fun, and like they just started telling that one, and then someone pops up later with the pestilent centaur, and then they start moving forward with the good ones. Because I imagine, like, look at the Roman pantheon, the Greek pantheon rather, they didn't hit that out of the park on the first try, guaranteed. Like they probably had to workshop Zeus and the rest of the cast, because that's a way harder thing to hold together than Christianity, where it's kind of one guy and it all comes from him. That's I remember thinking that was so cool as a kid, and like as a kid being like, obviously this is fake and Jesus is real, but like, man, it would be cool if it was these like semi-mortal people that were in charge. I feel like they'd be able to empathize with me a little more.
With flaws. They're very flawed.
With flaws.
Yeah, and I've said this before, but our modern superheroes are the Greek pantheon. Like it's the same shit. Like, and if you look at the powers of those Greek gods, they're about equivalent to a Marvel superhero. Like
they have
most of these guys aren't like, it's not like Zeus comes down and says, water into wine and the earth explodes and you're made of gas now and you're made of trees. Like he can't do that shit. Like he's Zeus. He's the god of fucking thunder. He can change it. He's got powers, but he's not limitless.
But they all have to do with like
all those fucking
getting laid.
Some of them are just fast.
Every meme is just like every Greek story could start with just, unfortunately, Zeus was horny.
Yeah.
Like every single one.
It is. Every single story about Zeus is like, and then he used his shape-shifting powers to gaslight a woman and fuck her, and 30 million people died. And it's like, oh, okay. And then all of Athens fell into the sea. And it's like, oh, well, this is written by someone from Sparta with some, an axe to grind, probably. It's funny, like thinking how much of history that like we think of as like objective fact is like something that got slipped in there, where some guys like imagine like Alexander the Great was most likely gay, but imagine if he was like a fucking conservative priest, like pastor level, like I'm not gay. I'm gonna suck a dick in front of you to show you how much I don't like it. Like that level of thing. Like it would be funny if like one of his enemies slipped that in after the fact. Like he's a great warlord, this and that. Yeah, but his buddy Paris, he was fucking him in the ass. Did you hear about that? No. But this is the year 800 BC. Throw it in.
Was it Nero? Was it Nero that had a femboy?
It was. Now that's the right one. It's obviously not the name I said, but.
Yeah, I can't remember. It was Caligula or Nero, one of the two. Yeah. But basically, his wife died, and he was beyond distraught. But then his little wine boy that brought him his wine, he kind of realized, you look a lot like my wife.
Yeah,
you are
and
my
the more
wife
wine
now.
you bring me, the more you look like her.
Basically,
so bring me some more wine.
It was basically some weird shit where he fucking like made him grow his hair long and everything, and was going around everyone and was going, this is my wife. You will refer to her by her real name, my wife. And all the Roman soldiers who are terrified of him are like, yes, your wife looks lovely today, Nero. Yes. Man, it was one of those, like, nobody wanted to say anything. No, everyone was too scared.
The emperor has no clothes, moment. Like,
Pretty scary.
I remember I was reading this thing about, there's that old thing about Nero, playing the equivalent of the violin or a fiddle or whatever on the balcony of his palace as Rome was burning, right?
Yeah.
And I was reading this, and this was a while ago. It was some guy who was clearly obsessed with all these emperors, and he's like, little known fact, that's actually false. He wasn't playing the violin while Rome was burning. This is used to malign Nero's character. And then, like, the next paragraph is like, he was in the basement molesting children while it burned. Like, and it's like, this is worse. Like, this is much worse than where we were at a few minutes ago. I liked when I would watch dinosaur shows and they would like show the graph of all the time of like the dinosaur era and even the pre-dinosaur era, and then it would like zoom in and show like the human era, not even like when we started doing, but just like when we evolved out of
when we were
whatever
biologically
fusion
human.
of different like the Neanderthals or whatever, and it was like just the teeniest little speck of humans there, and it made me feel like almost deprived in a way where I was like, wow, all the times to live and no dinosaurs.
But then humans have been biologically around for what to me feels like a long time. I don't know, 200,000 years. I'm making that up. But we've only been interesting for like 3,000. Prior to that,
maybe.
Well, no,
maybe we forgot. Maybe it all got washed away and reset.
Yes. I want to find evidence for those theories so much. And it's not that it's not out there to anyone who's going to like link me a bunch of stuff. I just haven't done my due diligence. But like the idea of ancient civilizations that were advanced is so fucking cool.
It's my favorite topic. It's my favorite fantasy. There's a sci-fi story written by Arthur C. Clarke that is very similar to what we're talking about. It's called The Star. It's a short story. So anybody who doesn't want the spoilers, go read it right now and then come back. I promise it's worth it. It's a very good short story and it's short. But the premise is, in the future, a team of astronauts, including a Jesuit priest, go to this star. Yeah, he's along the way. It's still happening. It's written in the 60s or something, Arthur C. Clarke. So they go to this faraway star. It's like 2,000 light years away or something like that. And this star had supernovaed, and all of the planets had been destroyed. But on the Pluto-like planet in this star system, the furthest out, that one had survived. And on that planet, they discover a vault. And inside that vault, they find the evidence of a vast culture, an advanced, beautiful culture with art and music and all the trappings of an advanced, beautiful, idyllic, utopic, futuristic civilization. The dream come true. It existed here. And it turns out that is the star 2,000 years ago that marked the birth of Jesus Christ. God snuffed that one out with a snap of his fingers just to put a little marker there above when Christ was sent forward. And that's what's shaking the Jesuit priest's faith, that God has so little regard for not just one life or two, but for this entire civilization that existed here, that just for that, he snuffed them out with a snap of his fingers. Good story.
Interesting. I'll need to read that.
I think it's called The Star.
It's interesting that he's a Jesuit priest.
Yeah,
or pastor, whatever.
I don't know. Maybe Arthur C. Clarke was a Catholic, or maybe he didn't like them or something.
Could be. Yeah, I want to learn more about space, but really, I want to learn more about potential ancient civilizations, because that's neat. I've seen the like overhead graphs where it shows like how the Giza pyramids are aligned with the stars in like a very hyper specific way that like Copper Age people wouldn't have been able to like fully know, much less like carve a bunch of stones with copper. Like there's YouTube videos of people now being like, they used copper chisels, and then they like hammer a copper chisel and it like falls apart immediately.
They don't know exactly
we don't.
I watched the whole thing about the copper versus iron thing is very interesting, because they had bronze and copper, and like I've seen the comparisons between the steel of the day or the iron of the day. They didn't necessarily have steel. The Hittites were the first ones bringing those iron swords against the Egyptians at the time, I believe. And they had, some historians will call it early steel, but if it did, it was incidental in their forming of iron swords.
Pig iron.
But meanwhile, like in Egypt, they could forge those copper or bronze swords, whatever they were. You just pour it. And when you pour something, you can make it very intricate. You can have lots of inlay to make it lighter. And depending on the composition, it would have been comparable to the.
No, you're right.
blade.
That's why Bronze Age lasted so long in so many areas, because it's infinitely easier to cast
Cheaper and
something.
easier.
Like casting is always easier than forging.
Yeah, it's the skill involved and the need for, like, you often hear it in fantasy. Every forge in the country is burning overtime to build the swords for the fires of industry, etc. Because it would require that. They didn't have that centralized, industrialized workforce to just make swords, but because you need craftsmen like blacksmiths doing one-offs. But when you're forging, or no, when you're casting, you just need some dummy. The hard part was made when they built the cast. Now some dummy can just pour and shift and snap the pieces apart. It's like Legos now.
Yeah. What is if you have a theory on like the pyramids, or what I was going to say about like the pyramid, like apparently there's some South American pyramids that are aligned the same way as the Giza pyramids in regard to like reflecting the stars' position.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. Like,
it seems like,
it's cool to think that there were advanced civilizations way before that we just know nothing about. And it would almost play into like the cyclical nature of humanity, even in our short time frame of like, we become hyper advanced, we get something cool, we destroy ourselves, or the technology destroys itself, and then
answer
you
for the
rebuild.
Fermi paradox as well.
I think what they had going on.
What is Fermi paradox?
It's why there aren't aliens everywhere. That's the question. Where are they?
The question is, hey, the universe is old enough that there should be lots of alien civilizations around. Why aren't we seeing them? So there must be some great filter. Is the civilization killing itself? Does the civilization decide to go dark and not communicate with other civilizations? Like, is it that it's just extremely uncommon for 2 amino acids to bang and make a cell, or however that happens? And
start with RNA. I did a little research on that, and I didn't learn anything.
I feel you.
They're like, no, the RNA first. And I'm like, okay, no, dude.
RNA. First of all, learn to spell. It's DNA. And
yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm completely misunderstood.
Don't make me correct
no
you
idea what
once
I was
again.
thinking. No, but I think that when they look at some of the big constructions from ancient civilizations, even like Stonehenge and stuff like that, that's just rocks stuck up. They had a purpose, right? They're calendars that they were using to calculate the seasons, and in conjunction with, and that was important for crop harvesting, for animal migration, and for like older ceremonies and rituals that they would do that probably date back to a time when man didn't understand winter and summer, and so they sort of created these mythos where winter was the bad guy was coming in the winter, and to drive him away, we need to like sacrifice this guy here, or we need to burn this, or do this dance, or say these prayers. And wouldn't you know it, tomorrow is going to have a little more time in it, because the wobble of the earth's different, the seasons are changing, and the days are going to get longer and longer. Then they get warm again, and being able to predict that would have been important for any number of reasons, not just for your crops and everything, but maybe like we see in Apocalypto, how the priest who was an amateur astronomer utilizing the technology that they had was able to predict the solar eclipse. And they were able to leverage his knowledge of a coming solar eclipse, his understanding of what one was, or at least that one came and went free of the will of man. He was able to leverage that into manipulating the whole society, into saying, tomorrow the god will take away your son, but our God King, he will drive the sun back. He will bring it back for you. And like just telling people that, and then it happens tomorrow. Who's going to argue against that when you're just a citizen of this?
Nobody. You will have just seen it.
You just saw the gods take away the sun, and your king say, fuck you, bring it back. And maybe he had to sacrifice 10 guys and roll their heads to make it happen. But holy shit, the sun was gone for a minute. Did y'all see that? It got cold. You don't think it was going to get colder? It was going to turn to the Everwinter or whatever their fucking mythos was. So I think that happened a lot everywhere, that everybody who figured out any bit of astronomy, that led to some basic math, and that led to a structure of control that gave them an underclass that they could utilize to build better monuments to those systems of control. And when they look at like South America, they see the remnants in the jungle of huge cities. I think what happened is those early explorers just wiped out tens of millions of people and whole civilizations that we never got to even hook up with in the Amazon.
I thought those ancient civilizations, like the giant ones you're talking about, way predated like Mayans, Aztecs, Spanish conquistadors. Like this was way older stuff. But not that I know of. The stuff I know about is the Mayans and the Aztecs. And then I was watching something today about a North American equivalent. Yeah, the Incas, the North American equivalent in the southwestern part of North Incas
America.
were Central America.
The Anasazi and all those groups are in the Southwest. They had vast empires, but it's the building of the monolithic structures that's interesting. I don't think there were any ancient civilizations that had computers or fucking iPhones or even electricity or even steam power outside of toys that the Romans had that were powered by steam. But I do think that they had like a system where like one of the important things that you need an abundance of food, surplus of food, so that you can have some people who are just provided for to learn how to do the other things, to get your society cooking and like learning new things.
Specialization.
Specialization. And I think that happened time and time again. There's that site in Turkey whose name is very difficult to pronounce. I think it's Göbekli Tepe. That's it.
Not really
Göbekli Tepe. And I heard recently
what was that? Every once in a while, Woody, I try and remember the fake Pokemon you did on our trivia game. Do you remember it? Because it killed me. It was so funny. But anyway, sorry, Kyle. Back to
that's it. It's just like I do think that those ancient civilizations existed and that they were advanced, but the advanced part was like, maybe they had a system of government with, I believe the Neanderthals. I think there's evidence that they found that the Neanderthals had basic art and stuff. They're wearing jewelry that had been, carved and designed and built. Like that's a pretty advanced group of people. I think when you're painting and crafting things, and that you also see them with wounds that have healed that couldn't have been. They were unsurvivable injuries if you were not cared for. Mm-hmm. They see people from those old times, 100,000 years old bodies that are clearly elders that had been looked after. They found genetic evidence in the burial tombs in the Southwest of a line of that runs down the female line of 6-toed people who were clearly the leaders of this tribe in the Southwest. You could tell that it went down the line. They all had a common female ancestor, not male. And there were like maybe 6 of them. But I'm probably thinking 6 because they all had 6 toes. They all had 6 toes. And clearly they had made like the 6-toed woman their priestess a long time ago. Mm-hmm. And then she had an empire that ran for 6 ancient generations. How long is that?
What if a long time from now they talk about those blue-blooded royalty along, in the same way?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There was, I guess you guys know, there was a royal family that had blue skin as kind of a genetic abnormality. And because they inbred so much, it lasted a long time.
Oh, I thought blue blood meant that like you were so untouched by manual labor in the sun that like your veins still looked like the...
So, as a third-party outsider to both of your wacky theories, I will say that I would support Taylor's theory over Woody's because I do not believe any human has ever bled blue, and I don't think...
So to be clear, it's blue skin tone as a genetic abnormality, not blue blood.
It's usually silver poisoning.
My research in trying to prove myself right is that it was a family in Kentucky, not royal. Like I said, I'm looking for... am I right?
The Kentucky Blue Bloods.
The Kentucky Blue Bloods. Owners of the largest silver mine.
No, it'd be some old lady selling colloidal silver on Etsy.
See, this
poisoning
is where
everyone.
We can determine, maybe Grok is lying to me. The term blue blood originates from the Spanish phrase sangre azul, which is used by medieval nobility in Spain to distinguish themselves from common people. The idea was tied to their pale skin, through which their veins appeared blue, suggesting purity of lineage untainted by Moorish or other non-noble blood during the Reconquista.
You don't want that
It's
Moorish
funny.
blood in you.
So that's from AI?
That's from AI, yeah.
Because there's a Reddit title of a post that is word for word. Like, it was like you were reading it to me.
Yeah, I bet it just... See, that's the risk with using this shit. Is it's just
Well, wait a
pulling
minute,
some
chicken and the
fucking
egg.
retard.
Chicken and the egg, though. Like maybe the original was a doctor that should be cited somewhere, but it just Grok
Right.
read that, and then so did your Redditor. He just copy pasted it.
Yeah.
That sounds fucking good to me.
In watching the Ukrainian thing, I've realized how much I don't know about how war is conducted, and from the tactics of how you navigate a tree line to the strategy of how when you might use a pincher movement. I still get baffled by, like, say there's a front line, someone makes some progress, and now there's a bulge in that front line. Why is that bulge good for me? Because I feel surrounded. Right. And then on the other hand, when they make the bulge, they are surrounded. I get very lost as to who has the advantage. Like, I know the basics, like high ground is good, but it has shined a spotlight on how little I know about how to conduct a war. And that's what he wants to know.
And it also, like, to me, it shows how impressive like ancient warfare was, and how they had to communicate. Like, look how difficult communication is in a modern war with walkie-talkies and radio and like instant things. Imagine like tens of thousands of people on horseback or on foot, and the advanced relaying of information you'd have to do, the anticipating of what moves you were having to do because you can't wait until real time to respond. Like, it made me think about that. And it was like, goddamn, like there's a reason Alexander the Great is still looked at like that, because he didn't just win with numbers. He defeated people with way more numbers all the time because he was so good at that.
I've been watching. There's a miniseries on Netflix about I think it's like 16th century Japan, and this leader who was like a minor leader in the smallest province, who conquered 95% of the island of Japan with his armies, and those armies would be like 40,000 versus 40,000 samurai. And this guy was really innovative. It's been a cool show. The first thing he did, he was like, we need peasants. Fuck all these like highborn, like this and that. Arm the peasants. They're with us. They'll fight for everything. If they win, they're going somewhere in life. They'll fight harder than a rich man. And then he imported the guns. Like they were shitty guns. They were the ones that have like a burning fuse on the back, and when you pull the trigger, the fuse touches the powder. And
who is this?
He was a Japanese warlord who conquered all of Japan in the 1500s. And so he set up these barricades with like spikes on the front, and you'd have like 3 or 4 riflemen in each one, and 3 or 4 bowmen in each one, and then 3 or 4 spearmen at each one. So the riflemen would be shooting, and when they're reloading, the bows are covering them. And if anybody gets too close, the spear guys stick them. And all the enemies are trying to ride on horseback, and they can't run them over because they're behind the big spiky shields. And they just slaughtered like huge amounts. There would be 4,000 versus 4,000, and 1,200 of the enemy would die, which is apparently a huge number. They talked about presenting him with 5,000 heads at one point. It was it's been fun. I always there's so much ritual suicide back. I don't know it, but for that to be true, like every historian on every continent would be exaggerating, right? Because this is the Japanese and their records saying 30,000 versus 30,000 and stuff.
I was meaning like a lot of people like in the Macedonian histories or whatever. It's like Alexander the Great defeated 1 million Persians, and it's like, well, he defeated a shit ton of Persians, probably not 1 million Persians.
A lot of Persians.
Probably not the same way that like in the Bible, every time you see the number like 144,000 or whatever, or like that just means like a shit ton.
I know that one of those cities, maybe the capital, when the Spanish came over and conquered, was like the 3rd or 4th biggest city on the planet. It was like 500,000 people or something. No, it was more. It was the 3rd or 4th biggest city on the planet at the time.
Is that the
population density? It was like on an island, and it was the population density of modern day New York.
Ugh.
Where?
I believe
South America. When is it Cortez? Was he the one doing it all? When the Spanish came over and conquered?
It's Mexico to me, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, Cortez conquered that. What were you saying, John?
So I believe originally the Spaniards, before they got well, what people believe for the population size is actually 10 times bigger back then. I guess what happened when the Spaniards went over, they did bring over disease, and they just kind of like killed them all by accident. And which is why when people came back, though, there wasn't so many cities anymore, just because the disease went rampant.
Yeah.
Did it never work
apparently,
the other way? Because without cities, they just didn't build immunities and sickness. Is that because why is it when Europe comes to America or South America, they bring tons of disease, but they don't get any?
So the reason is apparently because, well, there are some diseases they get, but what I've read, and who knows how true it is that because the Europeans had been breeding and raising like animals and shit for so long, like being around pigs and cows and chickens and all that stuff has a bunch of disease that you're exposed to all the time. And if you're not raising pigs and animal husbandry and shit, like some of those guys weren't when they showed up in South America, they weren't used to all those pathogens that you got just being around chickens and cows.
Well, also, you got to keep in mind is like smallpox is very deadly. And a lot of these people would have already had smallpox and survived it. And that means you're immune to smallpox, but it doesn't mean you're not. They had tons of animals with those fleas on them with fucking small. No, that's not how smallpox is spread.
What do you mean?
But it is how smallpox is inoculated.
That's how the plague
There's
is
something
spread.
about cows giving you a non-deadly version.
Is it smallpox basically like chicken pox?
Yeah, it's just like way more severe. Yeah,
and scarring. Like I think they. I remember.
I think that's
watching,
what it was. It was smallpox for South America. There's a couple of documentaries that talks about that.
Yeah, but I just don't know how it spreads. How does smallpox? Do you cough?
Skin contact,
Cough,
right?
Skin contact.
Really?
Skin contact's got to be the easiest way to avoid a disease.
I can't remember what I watched not too long ago. I think it was the John Adams documentary, but they were showing how they inoculated for smallpox back then. The doctor rolled up in front of these rich people's house with a dying boy who had smallpox in a wagon and cut open one of his sores. He's like, "It's easy, boy, one last time," and like cuts open his sore and takes the pus out and then goes in with like a pus covered mirror and like scratches it with a needle and starts stabbing everybody in the family in the arm repeatedly, giving them little pus injections. And he told her, he's like, and because they were doing it like that and not whatever modern methods we have of weakening the virus or whatever, or bacterium, whatever. One of the girls got smallpox. He was like, "It may be light or it may be heavy." It's like, this isn't a period, motherfucker. This is smallpox. And the one kid's in bed.
But by the time they find out,
sores.
I'm 2 towns away, freaking some other family with my.
As Kyle was telling that story, I had no idea where it was going. He's like, they take the boy from place to place, they pierce it, they get the schmear, and I'm like, is this going on crackers? What's coming next? Are we having peanut butter jelly and smallpox?
Yeah, that would be disgusting. You have to. It's like, you know what? I'm not licking the sword juice. I'll just take my chances.
I watched that Graham Hancock guy, the guy I like from Joe Rogan, the one who theorizes about the last ice age.
Is he the Gugepli techie or something?
Yeah, he is. He's got. They gave him a Netflix show,
Look at that, and I haven't listened to any of those.
Dude, the Joe Rogan power is strong. Like it got that guy a Netflix show. He's got a big deal Netflix series. It's like, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 episodes. There's a lot of archaeologists already just shitting on it and being like, "This is blasphemy." And then it's so funny because right off the bat in his show, in his show on Netflix, he's like talking about how archaeology tries to shut him down left and right, talking about how like they don't want, like, mainstream archaeology hates us at every step. They try to befoul us or whatever nonsense he says. And he's intersplicing these clips of the Joe Rogan experience and him talking to Joe Rogan, like in the episode of this show. But it's pretty good. I only watched the first episode. They went to, I don't know, some dirty jungle. And there was this like step pyramid thing made out of these sort of hexagonal rocks that are volcanic in nature, but they must have hauled them 500 miles or something. Seemed like a bunch of horse shit to me, but I was thinking that maybe the future episodes might have some more likely ancient.
That seems fun. And you know what? Like in the field of archaeology, like if some guy was like, "Yeah, I'm a mathematician and everybody's doing it wrong," I'd be like, obviously you're a goof because all these other people have their maths. In a field like archaeology,
I'm willing to believe this. Like this guy's at least right on a thing or two. Like they're archaeologists. Get real. There's so much shit you haven't found. You don't know the right timing. There was a story that came out a couple weeks ago where like a formerly like debunked Roman emperor who was a total myth. They found coins with his face on it, and they were like, "Okay, he was real." Like, okay, this guy was a real Roman emperor. We just found coins with his face on it. Like it previously thought to be a myth. Now, like to think we know like anything, like everything. I guess I would say like that's crazy. Of course, there's stuff we don't know. There's probably
I really like the idea of those civilizations that predate like
that is cool.
You know, the Ice Age. They go back to like I like the idea of I don't know people living in giant pyramids with infrastructure and technology with like mammoths pulling their sleds and like worrying about saber-toothed tigers and shit. Like I like that world. That's a cool world. I've mentioned it before, but there's that awful movie 10,000 BC, and that's the whole premise. It's like Apocalypto, but time shifted
bad.
To 10,000 BC. Yeah, if you want to watch a great movie though, that Mel Gibson's Apocalypto is always just the tip of my tongue when I'm recommending things to people.
It's a good movie. I haven't seen Apocalypto. Like, I think I saw it in theaters, and then that was the most recent time I've seen it. Maybe I remember liking it, thinking it was really cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's really violent. Mel Gibson's,
like it's about like the Mayans, the Incas.
I get the Mayans and the Aztecs mixed up, but yeah, it's about those South American brown people and how like the narrative is that these guys are in like a small tribe and they're getting kidnapped and their village is getting ransacked by the people who live in like the big city where they sacrifice people to the gods and have those giant pyramids and everything. And so they have to go out in the jungle to the little tribes and grab people for those sacrifices. And you see, not through language, because there's no English. It's all in some ancient dialect, but I don't think there's subtitles, but you kind of just visually learn through the visual storytelling, because Mel Gibson's an amazing director, that this is a failing culture. There is famine, there's disease. And the reason that they're out here hauling all of these people up to be sacrificed is to try to stop it. They're trying to stop the rot that's consuming them from the within. And then you see it at the end that I'll call him the wizard, but the head priest, the astronomer, probably a / astrologer, has been able to predict that there's going to be an eclipse, and he's like giving the king the nod so that he can like pretend like he's the one making the sun disappear. And you can just imagine the power that would create for your leader if you showed up because the boss said he was going to block the sun from the sky today, and you're like, bullshit, we'll show up, do it. And he went, oh, and the sun disappeared.
Oh yeah.
You got to
do what that guy says.
You got to do what that guy says. Like if you can, like Jesus, what could he do to me?
Yeah.
Don't say anything about Jesus. He hates that.
He hates that. He does not care for it one bit. Yeah. The Aztecs, like obviously it's like up in the air, but like the amount of people they purportedly sacrificed is like insane. Like thousands of people a year are some of like the lower estimates. Like
really,
so they said human sacrifice. They were like, it was just another Wednesday.
Gangbusters.
Like they killed
another Wednesday.
They just sacrificed so many people in their, I guess, to their gods or whatever. I don't know anything about like the Aztec religion. Like their
maybe
mythology.
That's why things went so well for them, Taylor.
Yeah.
Well, what Graham Hancock
but you may not know this, Woody. It didn't work out. Like, you may not know this. I think Spain pushed their shit in. Like I think Spain showed up and was like, "Oh, like you guys are in Dark Age? Oh my God, that like like we've had gunpowder for like a real long time." Like
Aztecs are like, "Man, we should have killed all the inventors."
Yeah, we shouldn't have killed that guy who came up with that really mysterious shining bulb. Like, he could have helped. Like that was like a poor guy in history. The Aztec Ben Franklin. It's like, guys, great news. Then it just cuts to his head bouncing down stone steps.
What's interesting, like the Romans had little steam powered toys, but they had no concept to industrialize steam power. You know what I mean? Like, and then there's been a lot of discussion. There's a whole YouTube channels that go on about it for hours about could the Romans have been on the verge of an industrial revolution 1,000 years before the real one?
That's totally realistic. Yeah.
Well, they break down a lot of reasons why the Empire wouldn't have been able to support such a thing. Something about raw materials.
No, but like if they had stayed, if they hadn't been like invaded by Germanic tribes and all of that.
Well, I mean, eventually, yeah, but they, they already, like, what was to stop them from doing it then and there was the sort of the question. If they already understand steam power and the power of steam because they have these toys, and basically like you put water under it and this little thing like walks around and spins and shit. And it's like, if you can do that, you make a steam drill to mine with, and like any number of like locomotive type inventions.
Yeah.
Thousands of years or 8,000 years before.
We did messing up my empires, but didn't the Romans like go into Europe and maybe have the resources they'd need?
It was less about like access to the resources and more about the way their economy was set up, I think. And the way that an entrepreneur would not be rewarded for coming up with a new thing that didn't fit the mold of the empire. It's like, oh, you got a new way of look, everyone does it this way. They'd have been slow to change, or it would have been a difficult change. I can't remember exactly how he made sense of it, but it took him an hour and a half, and he called himself an historian, so I believed him.
I would trust him. Hour and a half? That's a lot of time. That's
a lot of time. A lot of ad
Sounds
revenue.
like a motherfucker who can't explain how to rob a jewelry store.
Yeah. We're like, Larry, tell us about the jewelry store. He's like, let me tell you something about the Incas. The human sacrifice that was going on there makes my crimes look mild. It's like, what are you talking about?
He's so succinct, to the point, and full of rich detail, though, when he talks about like ancient Mesopotamia and their farming and agricultural techniques.
He's just
the silt boys, the silt from the Nile River Delta. You got to understand. You've got 20 million square hectares being condensed there. And when it all dries up, it's the richest farmland on this planet.
The Fertile Crescent, they call
the Fertile Crescent.
Yeah. Between the Tigris and the Euphrates, the birthplace of civilization.
Taylor, I crossed the Mississippi River today. That shit is like dried up. There's a huge beach. It's like 30 feet lower than it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah. We've had like a couple days of like sprinkly, gloomy shit, but we have not had big rain in a while, which is unusual around here. Usually we get more.
Do you need rain, or does it rain in like Minnesota or something, and that's where it comes from?
Don't the mountains like melt and feed it? Like, I don't think rain is the problem.
Well, the Mississippi isn't coming from mountains, I don't think. Like, at least in the U.S. From? It's actually a mystery.
Doesn't it? Like is there a water?
I don't know if I should believe.
No, it's actually unknown.
Yeah, the hole in the sky right below Canada.
They kept trying to follow it back to the source, but they get distracted.
They get lost. They get lost. All right. Well, let me guess where the Mississippi comes from, and I'm going to say it's the Great Lakes.
I bet that has something to do with it.
Yeah, I would guess. So we got to figure out, where did the Great Lakes go?
Maybe we can solve this.
When's the last time either of you saw one of the Great Lakes?
It's been a minute confirmed. Actually, that's not true. I've been to Detroit,
Chicago.
Chicago. Yeah. Okay, yeah,
that's the coldest. That's one of the coldest like things I've ever felt. Was like the wind blowing up that fucking lake in Chicago.
Lake Itasca.
I think I was right. It does seem to originate in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yeah, so maybe once they get more snow and it melts.
Is it like a dwarf woman? Does it just spring out of the ground, or like where does it appear?
No, it really though. Like, I followed it up on Google Maps to about Minneapolis, and it goes to the St. Croix Falls and kind of just starts there, I guess.
Well, don't just use a map. Ask somebody.
No, it says that Lake. No, you're right, Kyle. It's you're both right. It's from a glacial lake in Minnesota called Lake Itasca.
Oh. And we need to pump some water in Lake Itasca. You know what? I bet it is anywhere.
It's fine. It's such an ugly river. Mississippi's fine.
Just like pump some water into there.
Just we need to get this moving.
If you're low on water, just pump water from the place.
Yeah, just like push.
I never heard those people in Flint, Michigan say that they don't have water. All I hear them say is they don't like the water they have. So I say, if you don't like it,
ingrates.
I hear there's some people in Lake Wannaconka who could use a little water, and maybe we'll take some of that Flint, Michigan water. And look, the way nature works,
who else really likes clean water?
It'll filter that dirty water out. It'll clean that water. By the time it gets to Mississippi, it'll be clean. all that flint filth will have washed out of it.
Probably sooner than that.
You could be true. I mean, the Mississippi River is disgusting.
Lake Titicaca? That's not a real
wait.
place.
If it melts from glaciers, we could just put more glaciers there.
Yeah, but I think that's a big to do.
Easy enough.
Ice machine, dude. Have you seen?
We could steal a glacier from Canada. They couldn't stop us.
Oh, can you just? Why don't they hook up to icebergs ever and like haul them in like rich guy style and have a good time with them? I would. If I was like a billionaire, I'd do shitty stuff like that. Like oh, you think my private jet's bad for the environment? I'm gonna hook up to the biggest iceberg I can fucking find. Fly it to drag it across the planet to Tahiti, and we're gonna chip the fucking thing off in our drinks while we like, sit on the beach.
You know what I would do if I was like a big old billionaire? I'd be like, all right, I'm prepared to put billions towards environmental safety, cleaning lakes, getting plastic and shit out of the oceans, but we're gonna mete out my money, and it's gonna depend on cumulative U.S. BMI levels. If I'm doing my part to help eliminate this consumption problem, we all have to reduce consumption. So as soon as average BMI gets down to 30, boom, we're saving penguins. Also, I'm playing hardball. Every day it doesn't get below 30, I'm fucking killing some penguins. Also, let people know that you're playing for real. Yeah. Well, I mean, I picked a likable animal. Like no one would be upset if it's like, I'm going to, you'd have to take their babies elsewhere. You can control them with an iron fist.
I like that.
Yeah,
they get real upset when I've seen like
people would get upset, but think of how many I'd be the biggest lifesaver on Earth.
No,
and I would be the only one exempt from the BMI thing.
Meanwhile, you get bigger.
I don't think any of us
bigger and bigger.
I don't think that calculator works for any of us. I've seen where like a shitty penguin will like fuck up and like break their egg or kill their baby or something, and they'll run and kidnap somebody else's baby. But then they'll fucking get bored of it and they'll abandon it. And the original parent can't find him now because it's not like they left them at the 7-Eleven. The penguins.
Not as bad as people who buy birds. I know we've talked about that before, but like parrots can live to be like 88. It's like you want to hand down a bird to your children? Like that's absurd. I'd be so pissed if my dad died and he was like, and now take my 48-year-old cockatiel, and then someday you'll give this bird to your children. It's like, son of a bitch.
You know about that parrot named Alex that was the smartest parrot ever?
No.
So its final words to its owner were, "You be good. I love you. See you tomorrow." And then it died.
Oh,
that's crazy.
That's really sad.
Yeah.
A lot of animals are smarter than we give them credit. Some of the birds are up there. The crows, the ravens, the speaking birds. Which ones?
Octopus, octopi.
Oh, octopi.
Cephalopods in general, yeah.
Those are
Squids
smart.
too.
Yeah.
But they don't live long enough to like make shit.
Well, they live underwater. They can't make shit anyway. There's no smelting in the ocean.
That's true. Fact check. Yeah, dude, we would dominate a race of mer people that
they'd never make it
sprung into existence the same second
they
that
get their
Homo sapiens did.
from
Magic.
They would have to like just hope for a kind fisherman.
Or dealings with surface dwellers, perhaps.
I've lost faith in our ability to dominate if they have magic.
Yeah,
you saw the magic. Like Ursula turned Ariel into a walking woman. Like clearly there was magic. Like, come on, this is supposed to be one of your favorites.
Yeah,
I mean, all right, true.
And that was a good one. I like Sebastian.
Nailing it on these fact checks.
The merfolk are not to be trifled with. That's all I'm saying. like we can bandy about, have a good time, but let's not disparage a proud race of powerful, magical, sea-dwelling folk.
We'd fuck them up. Like, what would they have to trade us that we would want? Because you're right. The only tridents they're getting are tridents that are like hand-me-downs from us.
Microplastics. Microplastic currency.
It seemed like they had control over fish folk, so like they could just make a bunch of fish fly into our nets.
This is again resorting to magic.
Well, they have magic that's been established. You saw the trident.
What if they just use tidal waves to take out our coastal cities? How strong is this magic?
Like in the Abyss, yeah.
It could be a problem. Most of our cities are on the water.
Most of the population is, yeah.
Yeah, but we'd build new cities on the new shore. You know, we could do that because we're more
I'm not
industrious.
building anything.
Humanity, humans. And think about how ineffective your torso would be in the sea. That's not how you'd want to work. That's not how you'd want to be. There's a reason that like fish
and
don't evolve like
the
arms.
cloaca's the best part. Do away with all this messy plumbing that I've got and just one hole for everything.
Do you even have a penis then, or do you just kind of like
It's internal.
spew out a bunch of sperms?
Yeah. If you find a hot lady, she'll be circling her clutch, down in the sea and the seabed, and you just sort of crop dust it from above, whether she likes it or not. There's no penetration, so it's not rape.
No, it's really just kind of an air raid. Well,
Yeah.
a water raid. Yeah.
Yeah. Just crop dust the whole clutch there with my jisms.
Clutches are built for crop dusting.
Mm-hmm.
Clutches are
That's how
built
they
for
do it.
crop dusting. It's been said. Yeah.
Have you ever watched those salmon videos? How they turn into like horrible monsters that start decomposing as they
Alive.
swim back upstream? That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's why. And then you see all the Kodiak bears just like it. That's their like it's like a parade for them. It's so exciting because they're just feasting, loading up for the hibernation.
Yeah, you'll
Those are
see
neat
bears that are
videos.
so fat. That's why they talk about like I've seen experts look at those bears and be like, "See that bear right there? We could go slap the shit out of that bear. He wouldn't do anything. Look how fat he is. Look how full he is. He's content. He wouldn't look at us like he can't eat another bite of salmon. Look at it.
That's a risky hobby to slap the shit out of bears. Yeah, you look fat. I'm gonna bully you. Turns out you bully the skinny ones. The
I'm glad
hungry
we
ones.
don't have bear here. Like we've got those pussy ass black bear, but I'm glad we don't have. Like throughout my childhood, I was in the woods, and like the idea of being in the woods was something that could have killed me. I'm glad that doesn't exist here.
A black
Snake.
bear could kill you.
It wouldn't though.
It won't, but they don't
Yeah,
really
it just
have strength.
it's like a dog or like a person though. Like you just know they won't. But like a grizzly bear, it'd be like, hey, what are you? You look tasty, and it'll just fucking kill
Yeah.
you. It might
Or
just
a polar bear, even worse. You're
Yeah.
just like they look at you as food. At least grizzly bears have the common decency to like look at you and be like, "What's the deal? Are you food?
Yeah.
Are you not? I'm a little scared of you, but I'm hungry." Black bears are just pussies. You're right. Polar bears are I think the titans of the bear world. Is there any? Yeah, we talked about this. They're definitely the biggest. I saw the
Yeah.
pictures. They're
Was
not
there
as fat.
ever a bigger bear?
yeah.
There was
we
that
talked about
giant thing. Yeah, we talked about that
short-faced
huge
cave
thing.
bear 10,000 years ago while we were crossing the Bering Strait from Eurasia into North America. We'd have had to contend with those.
What was
And
it
I bet
called?
there's
You say it slower.
Short-faced cave bear.
Oh, I do remember this.
Yeah, they're gargantuan.
And I bet there are even bigger ones that we just haven't found yet. From back
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
day.
That's the thing. Whenever they find a specimen of something, you're like, was that a little one or was that the biggest one ever?
Mm.
Odds are
I-
it's somewhere in the middle.
I don't like their total confidence when they say like the blue whale is the biggest animal to have ever existed. It's like, brother, like there's no way we can for sure know that. It's like billions of years on this planet. Dinosaurs were around for hundreds of millions of years. There could be something bigger down there we haven't found yet. The tectonic plates and everything has shifted so much over that time. There could be like whole layers that we just aren't even aware
So,
of. until
I
something else
agree we
hits.
can't know. However, it seems like every time they find a bone, no one ever wants to say, "Oh, this bone. This is from a raptor," something we already knew about. They always incentivize to be like, this is the orbital bone of something new, of something big. If there was something bigger than a blue whale, then they would absolutely make any excuse to define something as bigger than a blue whale. We're just not seeing it.
I like that point because we have been hoodwinked a few times by the dino people where they do find like one bone and it's a guy trying to make a name for himself. And he's like, this is
Yes.
actually the sickest animal that's ever existed. And then 20 years later, some other guy's like, no, it's like part of a really gay animal we already knew about. Like that's what it was. Sorry. Like,
Yeah.
so we need to hold those people. We need to hold the dino people's feet to the fire the same way we're holding NASA's feet to the fire now, getting us back to the moon.
I hope we make some new animals or bring back some old ones. I'm looking forward to that. I want to see
Bring
a
back old
mammoth.
ones. Yeah.
I want to see a mammoth. That would be fucking cool.
Mammoth is a top tier one side.
Yeah.
Saber-toothed cat. No,
That's what I'm going for. I couldn't get my head all Siberian Husky.
Smilodon.
Like, those are actually around. They're like a big YouTube following.
I had one of those toys I had a saber-toothed tiger toy that I would make fight a rhino toy when I was a very young kid, and I always made sure the saber-toothed tiger won because he was so sick. I remember like a feeling of like maybe my first ever experience of feeling dejected or like just sad in a way that was intangible and not directly affecting me is when my mom or dad or whoever told me that saber-toothed tigers were gone. There wasn't a way to see them at the zoo. They're never coming back. And being like, then why would you even introduce me to the concept of something that I like that I like so much that I do this? Yeah, those were great. We should definitely not make new animals until we've brought back all the old ones we like. Mammoths, saber-toothed tigers. I want not Bigfoot, but whatever the thing is, Gigantopithecus, whatever the thing is that like we think might have been ancient Bigfoot. That would be a cool one to bring back.
Kyle, what kind of new animals are you looking for?
I want like fatty, delicious fish that like are stupid. Like I want a useful animal, like something we can eat.
Yeah, there's too many smart fish out there.
I want them to like
outwitted by the fish people.
I want them to like just love hooks and nets. To just be all
they already do. They already love it. They swim off with 10 holes in their cheeks and go fucking next time. Next time it's gonna go old Gil's way. Like,
honestly, I want to make dogs live a long time. I think that's the thing. There was that drug that was supposed to come out a couple years ago that was supposed to do that. Maybe it did. But I would want to make my dog like a little bit smarter, but not too smart. I don't want him talking. That's too smart.
Yeah, I would.
He needs to be dumb enough to have a really high opinion of me. Like that's essential in a dog.
Yes,
that's a big thing, and you can't have him talking because like you're getting dressed in front of your dog. He's gonna be like, "You wouldn't believe how much fatter he is than he looks in that."
Who are you talking to? Are you on Facebook Live?
Are you on Facebook Live?
Fuck!
You guys are selling me on this. Like, what if we made it so women couldn't talk? Hear me out. Hear me out.
That's what Donald Trump did.
All right. Well, we'll start with making women not able to vote, and we'll work backwards from there back to the chorus representations of speech. It would be that meme where like every building looks like the Seattle Space Needle, and there's flying cars.
I enjoy those a lot. That and the ancient civilization YouTubers, the ones who think that the Earth was we had ancient civilizations that were advanced. Like one of the
what about the Atlantis one where it's like the Ring City? Have you seen that one?
Oh, that sounds cool. No, I haven't seen Ring City.
You don't like
what
that one?
Here's why I like the Younger Dryas thing and with the Sphinx in particular. So they looked at where when the sun lines up with the constellation of Leo. Was 11,600 years ago, which is when they think the Sphinx was built, like the crackpot scientists think anyway. So they think it was built by a civilization before the Egyptians, and they're like, why would they build a lion? Like during the Egyptian times, it was the bull. It was Taurus was the one lined up with the path of the sun. But if you go back to when they think that comet struck and caused the Younger Dryas disaster and all that shit, it was Leo. So I thought that was a little interesting tidbit. I don't know. I like that stuff a lot. I spend a lot of time every morning. I come in here and I drink my coffee and I spend an hour at least watching YouTube shorts.
What's the most convincing one of those stories about either the Ring, the Atlantis thing, or Göbekli Tepe or whatever that's called that's actually sucked you in and you've been like, I buy this? There
are some tool marks on the place where they mined the granite for the pyramids, or it's a good distance away, like 100 miles or something away. But there are these tool marks that are kind of weird. It's just like, how do they do that? How were they cutting that out like that? It looks like they've been machined. So that one always sticks out to me more than the crackpot shit. Like, as much as I like Randall Carlson, I've heard him be like, their technology could have been something completely different than ours. They speak of the priests chanting. So I think maybe an acoustic energy was used to levitate these blocks. And it's like, no, dude.
Yes.
There's a reason why like every group of people came up with bow and arrows dependently. It's that tech makes sense. Like you know what I mean? You're not going to just branch off into magic acoustics instead of electricity or steam power or some shit. So that part's nonsensical to me. And anything ancient aliens is bullshit.
What about Atlantis? Is the story that it's like It's a city that used to be not underwater. Now it's all
Yeah,
sunk.
that's the one I was talking about, where a guy like using satellite, whatever. I mean, Google satellites. He found this area. Yeah, is that the one? You used a name that I hadn't heard of. Is that the guy?
Topography. Yeah.
No, the topography I'd heard of. The guy who found like the ring area of Atlantis. I don't know. It was a cool video.
That's
Dr.
just
Indiana Jones.
That's
I have
low-key
seen-
insult dick all night long.
Yeah, so according to the old tales or whatever, like it was a ringed city. So you had these rings and of land and then water, repeating for like, I don't know, 3 rings of land or whatever. And I think they found a formation that's like that under the water somewhere. But like you're gonna have to go down there and find some like, I don't know, some marble statues.
Yeah,
or
something
some
neat.
Yeah.
I need.
But
to
it's
see some
totally
whoozy butts
believable
that-
that there's
Sure.
like a city that is now underwater that used to not be.
They
It was
find
in
cities
northern
all the time.
Africa. It's on above. I don't know why I'm getting into this stupid.
No, it's in the Mediterranean or something.
Yeah, near the Mediterranean. That's where it should be, or
Mhm.
some. I've heard people say in the Atlantic as well. Yeah, that's the idea. I don't know what that is on the left though. That seems like I guess it's
that's the Sarlacc pit.
yes, it is. Oh my god, can you believe Boba Fett made it out of there? What horse shit? What horse
That
shit?
is-
By the way, I'll tell you what. I'm not sure if I can beat up Amanda Nunez. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass. I know for goddamn sure I can beat up Boba Fett. I could beat the dog shit out of Boba Fett. The actor who plays him, put him in his armor. I don't give a fuck.
Wait, isn't
That
that
old-
Pedro
Give him a
Pascal?
blaster.
Don't give him a blaster. I don't know. And AOC to a lesser extent, same thing. My sexy socialist mommy.
You think she's still
Latina
sexy?
queen.
Some people are saying she's losing it. They're just packing on some pounds.
Packing on some pounds. It's right-wing propaganda. All right, I saw her at the Puerto Rican Day Parade, yucking it up with that communist and dancing. It was on that. She was on a parade float wearing a red
Mhm.
dress, and look, she had a little tummy, but that's a thick Latino mommy right there. All right, there's nothing wrong with that. She could burn that off in a summer of jogging.
There's more than
or
one
yogging,
bullseye,
I believe it's called.
right? Maybe that's someone's perfect version of a woman. There was a dude in my chat who said he likes women who look like fertility statues.
Oh yeah. Those
Just
old
say fat.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
Yeah,
like headless and made of granite. From
Zach,
the,
show those like Paleolithic fertility statues. They all look the same from all the cultures. It's bizarre.
You know the theory behind that? Why they all look like that?
I know a few theories. What's yours?
The one I've always heard is that they're self-portraits. So women carved them. The reason they don't have heads is because it's their perspective looking down at their own body. So their tits and their stomach are huge and their legs are tiny and they don't have a head.
Yeah, I've heard that they were accurate representations of what women looked like as well, or they were the ideal. Like if you were a man back then, like a woman who looked like that, it's like she can pump the kids out. Look at those are childbearing hips. She's got 8 gallons of milk. Stat like she's got fat reserves.
balanced.
Like if hard times come, this is the kind of woman who can keep creating milk without eating. You know,
Dude,
what
I went to Walmart earlier. I saw her 7 times.
yeah.
yeah. All right, this has got to be a joke one.
Yeah, this is
She's
a
tugging on
man.
her tits.
Hang on a minute, this one looks familiar.
Oh my gosh. I know.
Holy shit. Okay, all right, keep moving along.
I've had enough
Oh, my
fertility. I can only get so soft.
God. This is definitely what I've seen this lady before.
Mhm. Yeah,
No, those
we did
fertility
see
statues are awesome.
the Indian ones with like nice tits.
Dude,
right.
Zach, take down the statue. Of
That's
me.
another self-portrait there.
Everyone else in the
Authorized
village is like,
picture.
everyone else in the village is like, did you see fucking Tony's self-portrait? Poor guy, not even vaguely connected to reality. Like, thinks his dick is 4 feet long. That'd be great. Like the first person to sculpt anything, everybody must have been so stoked on you. Like, whoa, you're good at this. And it's like, I know. No one else has even tried yet. Yeah. I don't think I'd want to fuck a fertility statue style lady, especially not that second one we saw
Too
where it kind of
hard.
looked like a man playing with his flat titties.
Kinda.
Kind of very much like that.
Yeah, kind of exactly like that. I could even see like the indent of glasses on it. It was almost like Zach created that one with AI just for the lulz. No, I've seen all those theories. And then what's interesting about those people, like the cave dwelling people, is I don't think they ever drew faces. They did all that cave art, and they would have lions and tigers and bears and antelope, and they would even have these herds, and it would be in such a way that when the light moved in the cave, the paintings would even seem to move a little bit. But I don't remember any people faces in any of those paintings ever.
I don't think I do either. But I also have not spent as much time as you looking at cave painting walls. Looks like they kind of figured out the buffalo, and they were like, "Pack it in, boys. This is art. This is what we do."
Yeah, there's a lot of theories about like what those paintings were about. That like maybe they were teaching the young like what the animals of the area looked like, or maybe it was just like doodles, or maybe it was events that they had seen, like telling a story about a hunt that they were on or something like that.
Boring.
That stuff's fascinating.
Yeah, that's a stupid story.
One time I saw like 10 buffalo.
That'd be a great story, bro.
One time I
12,000
chased
years
a deer
ago
for a whole day. Yeah.
Yeah, Grug, we were all there. It was this morning. We can still look out the cave entrance and see them. I like to think it was like kids, like the same way kids will doodle with crayons on the wall now. Like there was probably a cave mom that was like, "Your son is wrecking our cave wall again."
They did their hands. You can see it's adults. You can even see some of them don't have all their fingers.
Well,
that was before the pinky evolved.
Could be.
They put their hand up and then they blew the pigment onto it.
I did that in kindergarten. I made a turkey on a paper plate. It was pretty dope.
Yeah.
They did. Wasn't as impressive. I don't believe they were going for turkeys per se.
That was a great, like, the teacher's hungover activity. Just do this. After this, we're going to watch Land Before Time. And it's like, we're going to make turkeys with our hands. And it's like, it's March. Like, what are we doing here?
I've often thought that maybe there's something to it being hard to survive in an area that helps them technologically advance. You know, like you can't survive a Finland winter unless you've got your heating figured out, your housing figured out. You've got to have a bit of a civilization. You need to store food. Mm-hmm. If you can hang a hammock and fucking coconuts falling next to you all day long, then maybe you're not incentivized to advance your society in the same way.
That's true. Like it seems like about winter. Like if you have to plan for winter, it'd be like you have to like save up food and resources and stuff. So it seems like about winter does that.
Meanwhile, you've got in South America where it's nice and cool, like temperate climate where you just grab stuff out of the rainforest and eat it as long as you control the panthers that are trying to eat you, I guess.
They're
inventing astronomy and calendars and predicting.
South America did that?
Of course, yeah.
They invented astronomy.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't invent astronomy.
Did they invent this?
How do you know?
Maybe they arrived at it on their own. You mean like they were not the first people to, discover like astronomy and all that? Wasn't that like the Middle East?
I don't think we know who
someone
the
in
first
Europe
people
navigated by the stars.
Yeah, like every culture used the stars to navigate. But I'm sure they figured it out at different times.
Well, I was just talking about like the Mayan calendar and how far back that went, and that's
okay.
They're utilizing the stars and stuff to do that.
Yeah.
And the sun at its like zenith or whatever from either side, right? They built those pyramids to like show things at certain days of the year with the shadows.
Those pyramids are pretty new. I was just watching Ed March, C90 Adventures. He rides a tiny motorcycle. He went from like Alaska, across Canada, across America, then to Argentina. Right? Can you picture how long? Oh my
God! Yeah.
Right.
So sucked.
Along the way, he visits like this Aztec or Mayan temple. It's like a pyramid. And then he finds out the thing is like 150 years old and he's British. So he's like, oh, yeah, actually, my bedroom is older than this pyramid.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
it's like, really? Because Oxford's been a university since the year 900. Like,
he may have found some pyramid they made for fucking tourists 150 years ago, but those pyramids go back thousands of years.
Which one?
Not according to a YouTuber I saw.
Yeah,
maybe not the one
YouTuber.
Yeah, Colin's doubting my historians.
I mean, you watched the Mel Gibson movie.
Oh yeah, Apocalypto. That was a good movie.
Yeah,
Oh, I
my
was
God.
like, Braveheart. How does this make sense? That's Scottish.
Mad Max.
That classic film.
No.
Yeah, like the Japanese. Isn't it like Japan's full of mountains and difficult weather and difficult terrain? What weren't they? They've been fucking with China for a very long time. Always trying to invade China. Always
Chinese
poking
invented
them.
the Chinese invented paper, gunpowder, and
In
maybe
the game,
writing.
you start with sailing, I think.
Maybe writing. We probably don't know who invented writing. Like I feel
Well,
like all
you
the
feel-
time
I
they
feel
find
like-
some older thing.
Here's the thing though. If they invented paper, were they wiping their ass with it? Probably not first. They're probably
Yeah.
writing on it. So I think the Chinese did all those things, and then,
They
our,
did.
Our poor ignorant ancestors were over there being pale,
And cold.
very cold,
very,
very
chilly.
Yeah,
That would suck. Just
Hmm.
having months out of the year where it's like, there's still nothing to do, but now it's cold. And I
I've
hope we have enough
completely
food.
disregarded all your contrary evidence, and I'm sticking with my view anyway. That harsh environments make for advanced civilizations.
I think that's
just
for
stuck
hard
on it.
people. I think that what's that whole thing where like the
Even the people you mentioned.
necessity is the mother of invention. I think
True.
that if someone has a cold climate, that they will come up with a good way to deal with cold climates. I think if someone has a megafauna in their area, like big giant animals that are hard to deal with, they'll learn hunting tactics to like deal with that. But I don't think it necessarily makes them the best and brightest at all things. I don't think that the people who live in the cold, hard to live in place are going to be the best scientists because it's hard there. I think that
there's more difficult places to live than just cold
like,
places.
I think a moderate place where not only can we are we challenged, so we have to get out of our hammocks and stop eating the coconuts, but we can also relax once we figure this shit out a little bit and start calculating and looking at the stars and making lenses and figuring out
You do
things.
have to be able to get on top of it. It can't be straight up desert or Arctic.
Yeah.
The Mayans that you brought up as your example of an advanced technological civilization, didn't they get shot by the Spaniards and just beaten?
Smallpox.
They did get beaten pretty badly.
Smallpox. Come on. You know what?
You always go to the smallpox. I think muskets were part of it.
Guns and horses were a big part of it.
And smallpox. It decimated them.
They didn't have vaccines.
They didn't. You know what? Here's what I always wondered though. So we always talk about like how the white people brought the smallpox over to the West and would wipe out these indigenous peoples. Why didn't they have any diseases to like fuck up the white people?
They probably did. I bet because there's going to be diseases everywhere, right? Like there must have been shit that like all the Europeans started getting.
If they did,
I guess
it
not as
happened.
intense. Maybe it was like a milder shit, but like
No, it would have happened if they did, right? We would have gotten. We got the.
Right. Don't go to Mexico. Montezuma's revenge.
We'd go somewhere and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, there's yellow fever down there," but it's not like the Brits went back home with yellow fever and wiped out London. Like I'm just curious why.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah,
no clue. Maybe the pathogen died on the boat.
Well, Taylor solved it here.
They're very seasick pathogens.
They got, but no Dramamine in that time for the pathogens.
I don't care for it. Yeah, they don't want that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't know. What is? It would be so tight if they found one of those like super ancient civilizations, way older than like Egypt or ancient China. Because
they don't know how old Egypt is.
Like, what is it called? You've brought it up. Gekli Tepe.
Göbekli Tepe, that place in Turkey, that site they discovered that's well over 12,500 years
That's
old.
really cool. Stuff like that's fascinating.
That has those carvings and those enormous monolithic blocks that would have required not only someone who knew how to make monolithic blocks, but you have to keep in mind there has to be a system around the kind of person who is a craftsman and makes blocks like that. Uglug doesn't go out there, beat something with his club and eat it, and then go back into the mine that day. Uglug is this requires a miner who mines all day as a profession, and a craftsman who crafts all day as a profession, and like a religious society who's like, yes, we must have these things to please the gods, and little peons who are like, certainly do, right? All those things required a civilization of some like level is required to make those things happen, and we don't know anything about those people. And Egypt too, like the word that Egyptians use for the pyramid builders is not Egyptian. They call them by a different name as a different people.
Interesting.
So
they don't know how old that
some
stuff
people
is.
think that like pyramid predates the Egyptians. Like the
yeah,
really old
by
one?
many thousands of years, and then like the Sphinx, like they don't know how old that stuff is.
Yeah, you talked about the Sphinx recently, which I didn't know the Sphinx was older than some of the pyramids.
They don't know. Nobody knows how old it is.
If you took someone from one of those ancient civilizations, right, and granted them immortality, right? So now this guy's 12,000 years old. I wonder what he'd be like, right? So biologically, let's assume he's the same, that humans haven't evolved in 12,000 years. He's working with basically the same, wetware that we are. Cool. Would he be a genius, having learned things for the last 12,000 years? Would he be a dumbass like me, still stuck on some outdated food pyramid that he learned in fourth grade?
He's still eating his 12 servings of grain a day.
Just bread is part of the foundation of this whole fucking thing. like, would he be stuck on these old belief systems? Would he be a genius? Like, I wonder what this guy would be like if he lived 12. I bet he'd be rich.
Oh,
I bet. Please tell me you figured out you can just dollar cost average into the S&P. Anyone, it's easy to get rich. It's hard to get rich while you still have enough life left. But if you're going to live 12,000 years, God, you can spend 100 years getting rich. It's no big deal.
He could have been the first guy in the stock market.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Like the first, that's like, all right, market's open. We're trying this new thing. And he's like first guy in line. But I imagine someone like that would be unbelievably depressed.
See, this is your Christian upbringing coming back into play, Taylor. We did not coexist with the dinosaurs, okay?
You can't prove that.
Wait. Actually, on the topic of dinosaurs, I read this thing which made so much sense, and I can't believe I've never thought of it before. I'm sure you both have seen it. The fact that none of these fucking dinosaurs looked anything like we said they are, because we basically just took their bone structure and shrink wrapped skin on it.
Yeah.
Right? So look at what a human looks like. If you shrink wrapped skin onto a human skeleton, it would look fucking stupid. That's just not the way anybody looks. So like the T-Rex didn't look like that shit at all. Like it's just I had no idea.
I was
like,
article,
that makes so much more sense.
I for a while remember it was like, did you know that dinosaurs had feathers? And then I saw like Nat Geo tweet something that was like, actually, probably not. Like,
really?
And so
they had feathers. A lot of them had
some
feathers.
of them did, but those
some of the feathers are fossilized. I hope we get to Jurassic Park technology. I'm gonna predict that. Look, the way genetics work and all that research
we're doing
stuff.
it.
Yeah, we're all well
like
versed in
we're
genetics,
doing it, dude.
Well, all right.
What I mean
by that is like 30 years ago, cloning was insane, and then they just did it like crazy, and it got so passé that they don't even bother with it anymore. And they had to outlaw human cloning. George Bush did it, and then like the idea of
Bullshit,
genetic
by the way.
engineering. Yeah, the Chinese are still doing that shit.
I know.
And the idea of like Taylor making a baby was once science fiction, and now it's slowly becoming reality. And right
talking about
now,
like genetic inserts and stuff. Yeah,
genetic alteration, and they can write viruses that go in and literally alter genetic code. The movie Gattaca, of course, is Chiz is referencing there with Uma Thurman. Wonderful movie. Love
Good
Uma.
movie.
I'd suck those big fucking feet. If I only get like
Pop
one
some
toe.
of them toes in my mouth. I'll tell you what.
Only one would fit. Those are some big old feet. I bet they're bigger than mine. So what I'm saying is, science fiction often becomes science fact, and I don't think Michael Crichton might have been ahead of his time. I think eventually we will bring something back.
Science fiction often becomes science fact. Put that over a fucking picture of space with Neil deGrasse Tyson looking listlessly into the distance. Science fiction often becomes science fact.
It does. It does.
I know. It's just the way you said it was so funny.
It was very like notable.
Yeah.
Science fiction often becomes science fact.
I stared at the mirror for 3 hours this afternoon practicing that line. I will not have science fiction often becomes science fact.
But anyway, sorry. What were we saying?
I think someday, like maybe not dinosaurs, because it seems like they're fossilized and it's like all dried up and like there's nothing to get there. But
No,
like maybe the woolly mammoths and mastodons and shit like that. Like some of the stuff that's only been gone for like 10,000 years or 15,000 years, like that shit.
No, didn't we do something out of amber? Like we did. I'm such a fucking idiot.
That's Jurassic Park.
I searched resurrect out of amber, and the first link is how to get Aerodactyl out of old amber. Pokemon, let's go. And I was like, all right, word. But no,
well,
I
have
mean,
to go to the museum in Pewter
museum.
City. Okay, yeah,
of course. But no, I mean, I'm pretty sure that DNA. Shiz is right. DNA has a half-life, so we can't just go back to the Mesopotamia period. Shout out Pangea.
With current technology, we can't. But the way evolution works, maybe we have a way to like turn back the hands of time and create the genetic code from what we have now. Like if there's an animal that
We're gonna get, that's
evolved-
how we get some fucking like creatures. That's not how we get T-Rex. That's how we get X-Rex, and shit's just
cool.
like
Good enough for me. Good enough for me. If we
That
can
is cool.
somehow like look at, if we can somehow look at like modern elephants and be like, mammoth. There it is. That's where it was. This is the code. This is the code for fucking 8,000 BC mammoth right here. That best
Right.
model there was, extra hairy, and we
I
can
mean-
just print that bitch out. Like that'd be cool. They maybe
would you rather go back and try and like build something that
Yes.
existed, or would you rather just take the same tech that it took for them? Because we're talking about like AI that's going, hey, we're gonna figure this out and put it together the best that the AI can. Or would you rather just do it the other way and just be like, here's AI, just make us some shit and just go
I don't want that
way?
because somebody's
Put
gonna
'em on the
fuck up
moon.
and make like really
Put 'em on the
intelligent
moon.
wasps.
Yeah, so put them on the moon. Moon can be like our playground, and we just start pumping things out, and then we have like the moon populated by terrifying alpha apex predators, but they can't get to us because we're
until they invent space travel, and then we're all fucked.
Yeah,
but they
any
don't
day
have to
now we'll invent
Mars.
space travel.
I want to go space. Yo, that was actually sad that the what was it? Opportunity rover died today.
Oh, what was the Opportunity rover?
15 years ago, so it was Spirit, which was the first rover, I think, and then Opportunity was the longest one. It was supposed to be 90 days. They sent it out, and then it, went to Mars. It took like over 250,000 raw photos. It helped us discover the multiple types of water and like the fact that there was maybe, potentially life on Mars, etc. And it lasted 15 years, and then like maybe a year ago it stopped responding because it got covered with dust and then whatever. But yeah, today was the last day. They sent out like the final ping, like, if you're alive, tell us something. But like 8 months ago, it sent one message, and it was so sad. I was like, why do I feel more about this robot than literally anything on Earth? It said, my battery's getting low, it's getting dark. And I was like, oh man, this dude's dying alone up there. I was so sad. Like,
Why
Yeah.
would you give it sad phrases to say?
Right? Why can't it be
Please, I'm scared.
it's so cold. My internals are freezing. Like, shit.
Little stutter, like, but you said you wouldn't leave me.
Oh, that is a little dark.
But it is.
What
But it
animal
did
would you
well.
bring? I tell you what, I want to bring back those fucking saber-toothed cats. Those things look
The
bad
big ones,
fucking
the ones
ass.
with like the fucking
Yeah.
the teeth.
Yeah, I would like to. I think those are sick. Bring some of those back and put them in
Super
Africa.
cool.
Put them in Africa.
wanna-
you
I wanna
Just let
bring,
'em run wild.
I want to bring back
Let 'em
those
loose.
giant flying fucking not pterodactyls, but like they had
The
super
terror
huge-
birds. Yeah,
just
they're
big
called
birds.
Thunderbirds.
Yeah. They're
Yeah.
just like, it's like a jet plane, but it's just like a normal bird. It's like a
Dude,
whale
really?
in the sky.
Dude, this is not science fiction. This is
They're
some real ass shit. And there are people who believe that there were still some around, like at the turn of the last century, like not the last century, but the one before that, like in the late 1800s, there were reports of people
They're
being
like-
carried off by these
They're like
Thunderbirds.
9 feet tall, like just cataclysmic
With
size.
a wingspan of
birds.
a wingspan of like 8 meters or something like that. Like this gigantic Thunderbirds that are like fucking eagles
Oh,
that
yeah,
could
here it
could carry a man away.
It's called Quetzalcoatlus, and it was
God, don't you wish that the last one, all right, the last Thunderbird on the planet was in Tampa, Florida. Tomorrow.
And they just erased Tampa, Florida from the map.
No.
Yes,
no.
I agree.
Because that's where Woody's away flying, I think, and Woody's up there, and all of a sudden he hears, it's like, "Ah!" And he looks, and a 30-meter wingspan is coming at him at 130 miles per hour, and he's like, all right, if I could just grab the talons first, I'll just be able to swing it, and it just devours him and takes him back to his young. If there's a God, and there's not, then
this thing was enormous.
Could you link a picture so Chiz could show the audience?
How long is the wingspan that it's
I'll link I'm just looking at the Wikipedia article. Here it is. It says wingspan is 52 feet.
Jesus
Twice as big as I
It's
thought.
think of a pelican just bigger. It's like a giraffe neck. This shit is dumb.
This is a fucking dinosaur, Taylor.
At least 10 feet high at the shoulder.
Look at the comparison of a Cessna. It's the size of a Cessna. It's just so big.
Oh, it was found in Texas. So this was just fiddle fucking around in Texas 68 million years ago.
Give Texas back. We don't need it anymore. This thing could there might be one hiding.
We should find one. Man, that would be so cool. Imagine if we could weaponize the Quetzalcoatl.
So that's not what I was talking about. So I'm talking about this animal called the Thunderbird. So forgive the crypto kookery that's going to unfold at this point.
Wait, how is this not the same one?
Because that's a fucking dinosaur that was around during the Cretaceous. So sightings of large bird-like creatures have been reported for many years, at least since people began settling further west in the United States and Canada. One of the most famous reports is from 1890, where 2 Arizona cowboys claimed to have shot and killed a large bird. It was described as having no feathers, and it had the head similar to that of an alligator. The 2 men supposedly dragged the dead bird to town after killing it. The report seems to suggest that this creature looked more like a pterodactyl or a dragon than any modern day bird.
You know, I just think it was like, it's cool. I can also see it just being this just giant fucking atrocity of a like a Yao Ming bird, but just it lost all of its feathers, and then it was just like, whatever.
Yeah, but those 2 pioneer cowboys wouldn't have lied.
Look at that photo right there. A picture tells 1,000 words. That's what they say. Look at that.
Yeah, man, that is a pretty big bird, but that could also be a very small man. We don't know.
Felix Littleton, pictured here next to a normal-sized crow, the tiniest man who ever lived.
It'd be the easiest way to like be impressive with hunting expeditions. Just bring a hunting dwarf to like stand next to your catch.
Hey, little Pete, get out here. Stand next to this deer.
If you didn't pay so well, I'd be out of here. What are you going to do, Pete? You're right. I'm nothing.
We're 150 miles from civilization, Pete. Get in that photo. I'll feed you to the bear cubs.
I remember hearing about this game that I always get the Mayans and the Aztecs confused, so forgive me, historians.
Oh, I cringe when they talk about the Aztecs, because I went to UCLA and I studied about the Aztecs for 4 years, and whenever they talk about the Aztecs, I just can't stand it.
Well, click away, cocksucker. So whether it's the Aztecs or the Mayans, they played this game that was similar to soccer, if I remember correctly, but the goal was a hole in the wall on either side. And if you scored, you were sacrificed.
That
you played to like one.
I would not be good at that game.
So imagine a hole like 5 feet high, 6 feet high in a wall, and what it would take to kick the ball and get it to go in that. If I remember correctly, that's how the game is played.
It would take a death wish. That's the hardest part. Finding someone who wants to die.
And forgive me, it's been a little while.
Well, it's not been that long for me. I'm at UCLA studying this right now.
You cocksucker. But they would. It was basically like soccer, and you had to. I think you could use everything but your hands, if I remember correctly. But they had, they played until they did score, and the games could be very long. And I was thinking, like, okay, yeah, it is hard to score, but I think those games are long because not just anybody was willing to be sacrificed.
Yeah, do you think there were there's a lot of passing in that game, and the announcers for the season? Another game of 0-0. A lot of ties this season, Todd. Yeah.
This sport looks a lot like tennis. The ball just right and back and forth. I don't want it. I don't want it. You take it. I'd be the worst defenseman of all time. Just like stepping out of people's way and letting them go past. Yeah. I think most sports are silly. They're just silly.
At their core, when you break down any sport, it's like, oh, yeah, you take a piece of lumber and then you hit a ball, and then you run and touch some piece of fabric in a diamond shape and hope someone doesn't catch the ball.
Yeah.
If they invented it's a good thing hockey is so old, because if they invented that sport now with all the overprotective parents, they'd be like, oh my god, they're wearing razor blades on their feet. This can't be a contact sport.
I'm Googling
here.
There's some important information.
Sure.
So there's I searched for Aztec soccer sacrifice, and there's something called the Aztec ball game, and it has another name like ōllamalitzli or something.
That's perfect pronunciation.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
So it looks like the coach or sometimes the entire losing team would be sacrificed. So now there's a whole new incentive to be good at this game. And there's a bunch of other stuff like the head. No, I'm sorry. The ball is meant to
represent. UCLA was cringing.
The ball was meant to represent the head of a sacrificed person, and there's some other things that's spiritually meant sacrifice. But essentially, you lose, and at least in some cases, they would kill them, and it was an honor to be sacrificed.
I see. See, that's why. That's.
Oh, but wait. There's some dispute. Well, okay, let me read it because I'm reading it now for the first time.
The way I learned it was the winner, and the way I definitely read it was that it was the guy who scored.
Check this out. You might not be wrong. It is said that the ball represented the head of a sacrificed victim. In Compilation, the ball court was the foot of the blood-stained stairs of the temple, and the ball game itself would be the scene of a sacrifice. It is believed that the losing coach or even the whole team might be sacrificed. Some historians have disputed this because it was an honor to be sacrificed. It may have been the winning team that lost their lives. So that's where that stands. It looks like they're...
How do you find enough teams to keep playing?
I'm not saying I'm qualified to vote for president. I'm just saying that not everyone is. All right. If you make the test hard enough, I can't pass it. I won't argue with you. I won't say I am too smart enough to decide who's president. I won't argue with you.
There should be more questions about Rome on this test.
There should be.
There should be a few about Rome. I think they're pretty pertinent. The fall of the greatest empire of all time. There we were with hot running water, and then we went to the Dark Ages and like rubbing boiled down horse urine in our wounds for 1,000 fucking years. So it's a good idea to look at Rome if you're going to be voting. I'd like someone who knew the consequences of a failed republic. I'd like someone who knew the consequences of the most powerful power in not just a region, but now a globe failing.
I was only half joking, but yeah, it makes sense, especially as America. I think we're the current reigning empire. I think you could say that. And to sort of know what happened to England, what happened to Rome, how these things get bigger and smaller and help make better decisions.
Rome just kept overextending itself towards the end of its existence, funding tons of foreign wars, you know?
Based on what I learned from TV, it was a love triangle gone awry.
I'm pretty sure there was some immigration and some infrastructure issues too.
No.
I don't think they had a wall at all.
Huh, I think you're right. I bet they had a ton of walls.
They had the Hadrian's Wall.
They did. They had Hadrian's Wall up in England.
Well, because I've never heard of it, I'm not sure it's true.
It's still there.
It is.
Like that's proof.
Hadrian himself placed every stone.
He did. Stonewall Jackson was one of his first in his command there, if I remember correctly.
I finished Rome, the TV series. You were right. Oh my God. When you said it moved really quickly, I thought the first season moved really quickly. The first season ended in the way that I thought the whole thing would end. Like, what even is season 2? Well, sure enough, season 2 is pretty cool. And man, those last 3 episodes covered 2/3 of the story. Yeah.
It was wild. Yeah, it's a shame that didn't get. If that came out now, I would bet it would be wildly popular. It's shocking to me. You can tell, like, when some sort of global algorithm gets triggered by a subject. Right now, it is Rome. Like whatever that was recently,
TikTok,
where someone on TikTok like brought up that topic that I asked my boyfriend how much he talks about Rome, and he answered this, and then it just exponentially grew until like Netflix and Hulu started recommending me Roman-based things. Netflix is like, hey, here's a series we made 2 years ago that's like 6 parts of Roman blah, blah, blah. Okay, why not? It's like there's no way that's a coincidence. It's happening. I guarantee in Hollywood that algorithm, a bell went ding, 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 ding. What's that? It's the Make a Rome movie bell. All right. Who wants to do it? It's being made or written right now. The next Roman-based movie, it'll happen in 3 or 4 years, and it'll be fucking cool. I love that as a historical topic. I love it as movies and TV shows. Yeah. I wish Gladiator had been a whole goddamn universe. You know,
is there another empire as cool as Rome? Like, was Greece anywhere near that cool? Or
yeah, I mean,
the Ottoman Empire.
The Romans stole all the Greeks' ideas.
They optimized them.
That's where if you see Caesar Octavian That's what Caesar Octavian's doing. Like when he's a boy, that his mother's like, "Stop reading all about those old dirty Greeks. They were all boy buggerers anyway. Now, have you had any gash yet?" "No, mother. I have plenty of time to get gash."
"Ugh, a man of your age should have had 12 slave girls gashes by now."
That's
It's like what is
I'm
what
not
is the
exaggerating much.
what's the joke? Like the Greeks invented sex, and then the Romans discovered you could do it with women. Something like that.
There's a lot of that.
And the Greeks actually get like more of that. Like they weren't
shame.
as gay.
They have the
as
reputation for
people
being-
say. Yeah, that like that was like an insult. They would like the Spartans like would make fun of the Athenians being like a bunch of boy-loving buggerers or whatever the words were back then.
Yeah,
Still was
or at
going
least
on.
they did in
but
the movies that I've
not
watched.
to like what our idea of it is today, where it's like, oh yeah, the Greeks just like totally cool.
I'm sure there's plenty of gay people and like getting down in all kinds of ways. The Romans were just perverse, and all the way up to their leadership. You know, you would see. There's even that scene in Rome where the guy's like, "I've heard that you Romans would have a baboon fuck a woman," and he's like, "Yes, we sometimes will have baboons fuck a woman. I believe you just it's no more difficult than training the baboon and restraining the woman." And the guy, it's usually reserved as a punishment though, and the man is like, "I would like to see this. I would like to see a baboon fuck a woman." He's like, "Well, steps can be taken, certainly, but the matter at hand is..." It's just like, "Yeah, sure, dude. We'll get you your baboon fucking like after negotiations. Like, come on, let's move along." And
even then, back in those days, I feel like those guys had to have been like, really, the baboon fucking guy. Like, are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to go to the Coliseum?
No, that's what they did.
Baboon fucking again.
That's what they did in the Coliseum. They would have baboon fucking in the Coliseum. All right, first
I
of all,
don't think so.
All right, I love when you say things like this, and I ask you if you want to bet because I know you're wrong, and you refuse to bet, and then Zach looks it up, and then you go, "Huh, baboon fucking in the Coliseum."
All right, Zach, look up baboon fucking in the Coliseum. There's no way.
Are baboons at all native to that area?
And
No,
of course. So let me just say this: one of the flexes that the Roman Empire would do to like keep its people, we're taxing them a lot for this big military we have. It's very expensive because it's an organized military that you feed and like, what do you do for a living? I'm a fucking soldier. I show up to the post and I serve there for 5 years at a time. You got to and you pay them in gold, right? So to show the people and to pay them off for this, they would bring back from Africa and from all the way to England and Europe the bears, the lions, the monsters of those lands that they conquered, the elephants, and bring them home as during their triumphs and be like, "Look how powerful we are. We brought these baboons home to fuck women." Nothing about baboon rape. I'm
Read it, Taylor. Read it out loud.
Let's bet $1,000. There's nothing though about baboon rape. There's also nothing to actually indicate that the reenactment Marshall alludes to was anything but a dude in a bull costume mounting someone in a Pasiphae costume. No rape involved and probably no actual intercourse given the constraints of visibility within the Colosseum. Words from my mouth, basically, is what I. That's
so Google this. We're forced bestiality Colosseum.
You're really
because I'm positive it's true. And if that doesn't work, maybe lose the Colosseum and just do Romans, because that was kind of like what. I mean, if the first thing doesn't work, I'm almost positive they use this as a form of execution. Like they would have a horse rape a woman to death.
You've been taking a bunch of Derek's, dream supplements. Are you sure?
I'm sure.
This isn't something that you had a fever dream about that you were just excited.
This diet consists of mushrooms and pot.
Yeah, mushrooms.
They definitely did.
That wouldn't even be as entertaining. As like just from entertainment perspective, do you want to see a bunch of the Retiarius fighting the
you have
shield
a variety
guy?
of things, Taylor. Like you don't want all of look different
variety
channels.
is the spice of life.
It was just like television. Like one day you'd have women being executed by rape of donkey or whatever, and then the next day we'll recreate that old what's the myth about the guy who like the eagle comes down and eats his liver every day and it regenerates? Is that Greek or Roman? You would think it's Roman because I know they recreated it.
Yeah, I think
They
the
trained
Romans
the
did.
bird to come down and
They
do
did. They did rip a lot of their stuff from the Greeks. Not
Yeah,
even
how do you train
inventing
a
their.
bird to eat a man's liver? That's
Yeah,
incredible.
I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think they did that.
I bet they did that too.
No,
wanna double
because
down?
they. Yes. Yes, I
Zach,
wanna
Zach
double down.
also fact check that at one point birds were trained to eat men's liver as to recreate I can't remember if it's Greek or Roman, but the mythological god, nonsense, theological myth of that occurring.
Because there's no
Pretty
way
sure they
you
did
could.
that.
The bird's gonna eat whatever's in front of it. As soon as it's
Well,
done with the
maybe-
liver, it's gonna be eating your kidneys or whatever else the dead guy has.
We're
in
not
there.
talking about what it does later. We're talking about for the show of it all. Like, what does it come down to do? And I say they trained a bird to eat a man's
Oh.
liver on command.
If it was eating
out of his-
liver
out
on
of his
command,
live body.
because it like
Sorry, Prometheus.
definitely.
Thank you. Yeah, it was Prometheus' punishment for giving fire to man. They did that to him.
Which
Thank
big
you.
ups to Prometheus.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Took
for
one.
Yeah,
helping
thanks
us
for that
out with
fire, man.
Like fire was so
Prometheus was
important.
punished by Zeus. Yeah, but did the Romans recreate that? In real life in the Colosseum? And also, where are we on this animal rape as punishment? Because I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it.
Hmm.
I think you're wrong, and I think we should bet.
Animal rape is fake.
Ooh,
I've seen
that's
multiple
been
sources.
snoped.
I've seen multiple sources. They would the part.
What sources? What websites are you on?
Like on
Motherless, Pornhub, lots
Yes!
of sources.
Yeah, there was a gentleman on eFucked, and he wouldn't steer me the wrong direction.
No, I mean like watch. I feel like I've watched not just the Rome TV show, but like I feel like I've watched
There were no
historical.
cameras back then, Kyle.
Yeah,
Of course, we don't have cameras, but
There's a reenactment you're watching.
I'm not talking about videos I've watched. They were all dressed in togas and shit, man. I'm telling you.
Then at the
was
end,
real.
some lady came in, got naked, and some guy fucked her. Like,
This is like
he was a plumber or something.
if I have truly been misled, which I am not admitting until I've done thorough research after the show.
Admit it.
I'm sure that I've watched YouTube videos that were like talking about like ancient Rome was more perverse than you could imagine. Emperor Commodus would order women to be raped by donkeys for his.
Up next, was Hitler an alien?
No, not those kind of videos. I
The
stray away from
Nazis'
that.
secret occult pact with the devil.
I don't watch
Annihilate.
those anymore.
Anymore. They got you too many times where you're like, wait a minute.
No,
They
I
just
don't-
didn't have enough footage to make another Nazi war documentary, so now they're like doing stills and smash cuts of demon and like Beelzebub heads.
I'm standing by this forced animal rape by the Romans as punishment and/or execution. Or perhaps as a party favor. I will get to the bottom of it. Zach is clearly in on some sort of lie to make me look silly. And I'll get to the bottom of that too. I'll root out any conspirators, Taylor, and,
Yeah.
and do nothing about it.
Then do nothing about it. Well, either way, Zach, Operation Kyle Fool is complete.
One of the times that I remember I've talked about it before, but my teacher just went on and on about the Spartans, and it was this inspiring moment in my childhood education where I thought of him as my favorite teacher, and it turns out everything he taught me was like sort of lies and not.
What did he teach you?
Well, it was the Spartan stuff about the way their lives went and
yeah.
stuff, and it turned out a lot of that wasn't exactly true, or at least I see sources now that suggest that it was not.
Yeah.
So I don't
like
know.
the like over the top like pederasty
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, the over the top like militarized society and like the agoge, we're 7 years old, you're drug away, and you're in the army till you're 45 or whatever. Like all that crazy, and the craziness of the training. That he was very specific about that. Anyway, YouTube has led me to believe that much of that was exaggerated or just outright lies.
Yeah.
Spartan propaganda, it turned out.
Well, it
So
could be. I mean, they
that lived on to the 20th century.
they would definitely want their
It was
enemies
21st by
to
then.
believe that they were like insane warrior people, even if it was kind of a bit of an exaggeration. I like that idea. It's a cool thing to think about, that like there was an apex civilization or civilizations before us that it surpassed us, and then all was lost in some calamitous event or something, and then now we're eking our way back. It's the same way like the way like every major religion has like a flood story at some part.
Mhm.
It's like, that's weird. Like There's no way they were making it up over here and making it up over here and making it up over here. I know, and over here, and they're all lined up. Like there had to have been something. They were referencing something.
Göbekli Tepe is 11,000 years old. That site in Turkey, that religious site with the enormous pillars and stuff that was built when we were supposedly just hunter gatherers. That's that place that they believe was destroyed by a comet impact around that triggered the Younger Dryas climate change event, which was also around that time period, like 11 or 14,000 years ago or something like that. That's what that Graham Hancock guy is always going on about. I can't remember the name of his book, but it's really good. And then he's been on Rogan a bunch, and he's got he's got a couple of Netflix shows or a couple seasons of a Netflix show. I think you're being ridiculous on this. Clearly, prostitution is the first profession.
Really? So it's in good faith. It's not super clear to me. It's one of the starters, right? I'm with you, right? And I didn't find a lot of value in the she was born with it, like argument. Like I don't think that means that it was first.
It's incredibly strong.
But one of the early ones I came to was like blacksmith.
Like strong.
Blacksmith way too late. Stonesmith, woodsmith, like someone who sharpens spears and hands them out.
There was a division of labor.
Yes, there was. There
wasn't. That is one of the first. That is a step into civilization when you have division of labor. For division of labor, you have to have a surplus of goods. That doesn't happen in the early
the first step of civilization is amalgamation around a corporate.
There is division of labor amongst lions, right? And people transform from monkey to people, assuming that happened. Let's be inclusive. People transform from monkeys to humans. Probably, we were still monkeys when we were dividing labor. Some were hunters, some were collectors, etc. So I don't think that's a late.
No, Woody is hitting the nail on the head.
I'm talking about where you have fishermen and you have weavers and you have people who harvest and harvest grain. That's civilization. That doesn't happen until much later on.
What was the first segmentation of labor?
Well,
food gathering.
The first segmentation of labor is that
the
first segmentation of labor is that the men are the protectors and the hunters and the warriors, and the women are the nurturers and the berry gatherers.
And that creates a natural currency: furs, meat, food, things that can be traded.
So what? Your wife in this caveman society is going to do business with me for the berries she sold, and I, a different man who lives on the other end of the cave, is going to transact with her?
How about this? We can change that, and let's assume that the head of the household, the man, was the one transacting. I would be transacting with you for the berries she collected.
There would be we would be living hand to mouth. We would just be sharing whatever we'd found that day. We'd be hungry most of the time.
I can totally imagine a scenario where your family has meat, my family has a surplus of walnuts, and we want to equalize those two.
Everything would go in we're talking about the very beginning. Everything is just going on the floor in a pile, and we're all.
Why? What makes you say that?
Anthropological evidence.
He's trying to guide you into saying there's a civilization.
There's anthropological evidence that they threw everything they collected into a big pot, and they all pulled from it what they needed.
They can see how they butchered things and ate things and prepared things. They can look at the feces of every member of the group and see that they were all eating the same.
Interesting, but how does that tell us how transactional occurrences happen?
It's human nature that what I'm saying.
Human nature is trading your goods for another's.
You don't have any goods. You don't. Yes, have you do. Any.
You have berries and meat and furs.
No, because there's no mercantile fucking society.
Why not? All it takes for a mercantile society is two people to trade.
Because you don't know how to weave yet. You don't know how to weave yet.
Okay, so I'll train you on weave, but hold on.
Now it's a technological.
Monkeys make spears and sticks, right? Monkeys will put a stick into an anthill and come out with ants, right? They make tools.
Okay, kind of. Yeah.
So from that, I suggest that humans were building tools as they were barely even humans, right? They're more advanced than current monkeys. So here we have like some sort of skilled labor as people are barely even humans.
We're selling pussy even before that, though.
Oh, so I was drawing the starting line at being human. But you're drawing the starting line at sort of being alive.
I think,
and in that regard, we could look at like.
Well, I mean, there was like four other human. There were 4 or 5
What about safety?
Other
is safety
hominids.
probably an earlier trade? where you trade your goods for the safety from the larger tribe?
I think that's just natural biology that the male or that the group protects itself. Like I don't think elephants are engaging in trade when they encircle the newborn child to protect it. Do you? Do you think that there's a transactional thing going, that the elephant's mother now owes the rest of the herd something because they encircled the child? No, they're just acting naturally to protect their own. There's no transaction.
But you've also seen the videos of the elephants that are a member of that. I don't remember what the group of elephants is called, but they bring back food and treats and maybe just herd. Yeah, they bring back stuff for the baby.
Kyle, I would argue that when elephants protect the baby, it's commerce. And my thing is they're making deposits in the emotional bank account. They are expecting these elephants to protect their baby down the road.
Yes. Dude, what do you fucking swish? Like that's yeah. That is right, because what is commerce if not a transactional event in which you ensure future security?
Well,
what is it?
When you refuse to see reason, you get here.
I don't think so. I think
I argued in good faith the whole time.
Woody is making good faith arguments, and I made like 80% good faith arguments, and a couple ones that I thought would be funny.
I think the definition of profession matters, and I think because hunting,
the starting line matters too.
Now we're
because hunting is an activity. I suppose you could see it as a profession. I don't know the definition of profession. I defined a profession as something you do in exchange for currency, but maybe profession is just the thing that you do, your job. So by that nature, maybe your profession could be hunting, gathering, weaving, napping stones to make tools, whatever. I could see those as the first professions. I'm sure that the old guy who like has arthritis at 30 is the stone napper who sits in the back of the cave and makes the best spearheads. And when you come back with that kill, you're like definitely gonna give old Ned a chunk of the good meat because he got you that best spearhead that went all the way through the deer or whatever.
But that includes specialization, and you said this pre-existed specialization.
Well, I think that like skills like tool making were specialization. It would be something that was handed down from, but there would, like everything in life, there'd be a guy who was good at it. Like if there were two guys in your cave making spearheads and one of them was markedly better than the other, you'd want to keep him on your side. I could see you sliding him some extra, like, hey man, I was out. And
some extra what?
I found this shiny rock. This is the good obsidian. This is actually quartz. I found some flint the other day. I bet, I know we're supposed to share the flint. Everybody's supposed to how about you take both pieces of flint? Because I know you're going to make the good stuff. And you just give them to me on the down low.
I'm processing this in my mind. If, like me, you draw the starting line at when monkeys became humans, then there's probably like a 12-way tie for oldest profession.
Yeah, and it's a blurry line.
Okay. But by the time people became people, shucks, we were sharpening stones, sharpening sticks, that's for sure. We were probably selling our body for sex. We were selling protection. We were making emotional bank account deposits and bartering, and all of that happened at the stage we were still like mostly monkey.
100%. Like if you draw the line at monkeys to humans, then there are dozens of different ways that commerce was transacted.
So like Taylor, I'm super fascinated and intrigued by the premise of an ancient advanced civilization that Göbekli Tepe place really fascinates me. But even more interesting to me is the lost history of the extinct hominid side species, the other intelligent people that lived alongside us. Like the Neanderthals is the most famous one, but there were like 5 or 6 of these walking, talking, upright people animal things that had clothes and art and music, and they hunted and they painted and they worked together in little groups. And there were hobbit people, I think in Indonesia they found, that were like 3 fucking feet tall, running around like hobbits used to.
So like
exist.
Homo erectus, wasn't Homo erectus like retarded?
I don't know the whole lineage of Homo erectus, Homo habilis, and like down the line, and I don't know
I think Homo habilis came before Homo erectus.
And they,
right?
the other thing, the reason I refuse to like devote any of this to memory is because every year they find a new thumb bone or a new molar somewhere that rewrites human history to some extent.
Yeah.
Recently, they've been rewriting the idea of the African origin and the diaspora into Europe and the timeline of that and how that actually went down. So because
I've
that's like
seen that.
evolving so quickly, I don't even like devote it to memory because I think it's going to be like
Yeah.
when I was a kid and I memorized all the dinosaur names, and then they started saying those dinosaurs didn't exist, like in the late night. Like actually there was.
And they
no
started saying
brontosaurus.
a bunch of horse shit like they don't have scales.
Dude, when I was in high school, I had to memorize the periodic table of elements, and then I saw it again as an adult, and I'm like, "Who are these fucking new guys?"
Yeah.
It's
there's
complete now.
Yeah, like you can see on those color coded charts where it's like the ones created by man, and like the whole bottom row is like
Einsteinium.
Scarianium,
It's
and all these.
The periodic table is complete now. We have all the elements are known. Yes.
We'll find a fun one.
No, they're all
Wait.
known.
Can't they make more? Hear me out. I don't understand.
Mhm.
But like, it's defined by how many
Atomic number.
electrons and protons are in them, right? So
Yeah.
couldn't they add more and make?
They've already
another
done
one?
that. They've
Hear me out. More.
Yeah, hear me out more. Because some guy in like 1930 was like, "The deal's done. We got it." Like it's
complete.
Is it okay?
How?
Well, I
How
need to
could-
talk to ChatGPT. I've started becoming Professor Kyle in this regard, where I have like, all right, explain to me this atom ion thing, because I don't get just missing an electron yet still being the same.
Yeah,
And I talk it out
explain
with
magnetism
ChatGPT.
one more time, ChatGPT, but like I'm 3 this time.
Okay. Well, I like Sam Neill a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Jurassic Park. I like him from Jurassic Park.
I liked in Jurassic Park where he just mogs that little kid for laughing in the very beginning. The little kid in the beginning is like, "This is gay. It's like a turkey," and he's like in front of a bunch of adults, and he like takes a
raptor claw
out, and it's like, "Do you know what it would do to you? It would slice you open, and your innards would fall out." And he's doing this like a 7-year-old kid.
That kid was a
Pretty
douchebag.
dope, though, right? Like, I feel like that kid got a really good experience.
He did, or he was.
He'll remember about the raptor forever. And
Why didn't they arrest John Hammond at the end of that movie?
They probably should have, because he was.
Rich guy?
Yeah. It was his island. He did that to them all. Like if when we were on that helicopter getting out of there, and John Hammond takes a moment to turn around with his stupid cane and like look back at the island and like, "Oh, my dream did come true," and then he gets on the helicopter with us, I'd have kicked his old ass out. John didn't make it. John didn't fucking make it. Fuck him. He sent us to this hell island to be preyed upon by these super dangerous dinosaurs. Let Newman
That's all
act
true. I
system.
don't know. I'm giving him too much
I'd be
credit
mad. A lot of people
internally for
died.
intent,
A
right?
lot of
Like
people
he
died, man.
intended to do something really dope. Just they bred. Oopsie doodle.
And practice, it didn't go too well. Poor Sam Jackson got eat up.
Well, I don't know who that is. So
Samuel L. Jackson. English, motherfucker. Do you speak it?
Yeah. I don't remember him in the movie.
You know who else?
I remember Newman.
Newman got ate up.
Yeah, Sam Jackson's the main character in the movie. He does get killed. His arm is the one that's left hanging on the chain link fence at one point that the blonde finds. She's like, "Ah!" Like freaks out because the arm's
I
there.
don't know about main character. I'd remember him if it was a main.
Fair enough. He's no
Yes,
Sam
main
Neill. He's not one of those little.
I remember as a little kid watching it, and like when they lowered that cow into the enclosure, like, it made me sad for the cow because I thought of all the cows I knew on my grandpa's farm and was like, "Oh man,
Photoshop.
holy shit!" Samuel L. Jackson is in this movie. That I haven't seen it in so long. I didn't know who this was when I watched it as a kid.
Well, it's
been 25 years since I've watched this movie, probably.
I don't watch the sequels. I think the sequels are garbage. All that Chris Pratt stuff when he's riding a motorcycle flanked by velociraptors.
I watched one. I hated it. I didn't like how glib he was around the raptors. Respect them.
He respected him, I thought, but he tried to like domesticate him almost and be one of them. Yeah.
Put that Crocodile Dundee shit on him.
He tried to treat them like dogs, and it's like, no, these are more powerful than dogs. Be real. And they don't have feathers.
They do have feathers.
They don't even have feathers.
I don't know why you're such a featherist, because
They all flew
feathers
away.
don't make them less cool.
They make them less cool. They have to have scales. That's how I picture them in my head. And I don't care how much evidence comes out that proves me wrong. Dinosaurs did not have feathers. They weren't fucking birds. Birds are gay. Dinosaurs are cool.
Birds are gay.
Birds are gay.
They
And
sing.
dinosaurs are sick.
What's gay
Kyle.
about birds?
They're weak. They
Oh,
have
just-
hollow bones.
Wear gloves.
That is lame, but like it's not that birds inherently are gay. It's just
They
like when
wear
you try and
gloves.
include birds in the dinosaur world, it's like fuck off. Like dinosaurs are sick.
Have you ever seen the terror bird, that gigantic pterodactyl type bird that lived 10,000,
Yes.
20,000 years ago?
And that
There's
thing's
a-
cool.
Have you seen the picture of it next to a man for scale?
Mhm.
It's big enough to eat you. Like,
Its head
easily.
doesn't make sense, like as far as proportions go. It's like, how the fuck did this thing fly with all of its weight in that enormous, gigantic, scary head?
Hollow
But you've
bones.
seen the body, right?
Yeah, it looks like it's
picture of it is
15
just
feet.
on the
It looks like
ground.
a 15-foot tall bird, and it towers over a person in a way where if it saw you, it looks like it would peck you once and kill you.
And it would. It wouldn't even have to peck you. It could
You know,
just.
there are Native American legends about terror birds doing exactly that, and some people theorize that maybe some of those terror birds lived long enough to rub shoulders with man, and so they had those stories. I think the same thing might be true about Sasquatch and the Gigantopithecus. I think that like there are so many, especially in the Pacific Northwest, where Gigantopithecus bones or teeth, molars have been found up in Canada. There are lots of tribal legends about what essentially we would think of as Bigfoot.
Terror birds are pretty dope. I'm looking at them compared to an ostrich. I like it. I like what I'm seeing. You know what I think is I'm glad that blue whales exist right now. Blue whales apparently are the biggest animal ever to exist on this planet.
Yep.
And they're alive with us today.
That we know of, maybe there was maybe there's
Sure.
a mega blue. I think
The
like
blue whales are sick. That's really cool.
I don't remember the percentage, but they broke down like what percentage of bones get fossilized, and it's like 0.1% or something. It's very rare that something even becomes a fossil. So there's tons of animals that we will
And I
never have
would
fossil
think
evidence of.
If there was a place we were bad at finding fossils, it might be the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah. the absolute hardest place to find them ever. Yeah. There could be
Maybe-
awesome stuff down there.
Right.
So when a whale dies, it's called a whale fall. When the body like sinks to the bottom, the carcass goes down there. It spawns an entire ecosystem of all sorts of anything from the little shrimp creatures to there's a whole food
weird
chain that's
worms.
created by the whale fall. And then sometimes you have underwater landslides, right? Like that's what when you have like tectonic plates move under the ocean. Sometimes you have huge amounts of mud and sediment that are laid over. So maybe that. Have you ever cleaned doves? That's incredibly easy.
That's the
Doves-
easiest cleaning I've ever done.
Doves are so tenderly made that our man hands, you just reach and grab its double breast and go "Haka!" like a ninja from the
I saw this
70s.
in Indiana Jones. It's not hard.
Yeah, it's Kalima.
Ah! like
yeah,
there's-
doves you can almost pop like this. Like you can almost
we didn't use
explode them
knives.
outward if you wanted to.
We so the daily limit for doves, I don't remember, it's a dozen, maybe 16, maybe 15. Each man can kill that many per day. But you know what I mean. I could operate a shotgun, soaking everybody I grew up with. So we killed like 180 one day, and we were sitting there for an hour cleaning those things. But I remember my mom fried them up, and it was just a feast. It felt like a feast from olden times because I think we had like hush puppies and then just those dove balls. That's what you call them, dove, because you take the breast and wrap it up with the bacon and the cream cheese and jalapeno and stuff. It's so good. I've done it with quail as well. Quail's really good, but
Quail
they're so
salad.
tender. You don't need a knife. You don't need any tools. You just tear its double breast off of the bone with your bare hands. Maybe rinse it a little and then throw it in the pile of meat and just keep going.
Pheasant. Pheasant is just a big
Never
quail.
even seen one.
That cannot be true.
Maybe in Texas, but I don't think we have them down here. If we do, I've just never really seen one.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. It's just as far as it tastes like a big quail.
Yeah.
Like a very teeny chicken.
I don't know my birds. I wake up every morning with like 12 vultures on my roof, and I'm like, how old do I look?
12 vultures. That's honestly kind of sick. What what's dying so much around you that they're like, we need to take a break from munching?
I think it's actually that our house is in the middle of a big open field, so they have a nice view. Like they can see out. We have had a dead deer, but
they're roosting nearby and they're sunning on your roof to get warm enough to take off. They're roosting in the woods nearby. They're up there getting warmed up in the morning probably.
That makes sense.
Those things go so high. I always hear them talk about how far away they can smell carrion, and it's unbelievable. But they do find it. You ever hit one with your car?
No.
Fuck, I have.
I bet they explode.
They throw up on you on purpose. Like it's a defense mechanism to vomit on stuff, or maybe it's just like, let me get rid of this. I got to move fast. But I've been driving down the road and one's like eating a skunk or something. I'm like, I do that George Costanza thing where I'm like, dude, I'm heading that way. You do you.
We have an agreement.
Yeah. I hit one with my windshield one time, vomited. It was disgusting. It didn't break the windshield though. I wasn't going fast enough, I guess.
Kyle makes a lot of sense about the sunning themselves today. So thermals, right? I've said this a million times, but I'll do it real quick. The sun does not heat the air. You would think it does. It does not. The air is colder as you get closer to the sun. The sun heats the ground, and then the ground heats the air. That's how that works. And what happens is there'll be like sort of spots where it's hotter than other spots. Maybe it's dry dirt. Maybe there's sand there or rock. Those things get extra hot. The roof, a subdivision, those things are hotter than like the trees outside the subdivision. Cool. So when I fly around on my paramotor and I'm like losing altitude, maybe the motor's off and I'm just trying to like fly around without a motor, I'll go to my house, which is the only hot thing in a giant field of grass. And it's called a known thermal is called the house thermal. Usually it's a big rock on the side of a mountain, but the house thermal in my area is my house. It's kind of a big roof, and there's always rising air above my house to catch and get some more altitude. Yeah. So I bet that's what the vultures are doing. Now that Kyle said it, I'm like, of course.
Yeah. I've shot vultures out of the air before flying with a rifle. You're not supposed to.
With a rifle?
You're not supposed to shoot rifles up in the air.
I tried to shoot a bat with a 22. And I don't know if I ever hit it. I know I missed a lot though.
I have shot a lot of birds out of the air with 22s. I've done it multiple times with witnesses. I've never done it without a witness, which is great because when you do, actually once I did. I shot a buzzard straight out of the air. He was flying slowly, just like way up there, and I shot him with a 22 rifle with a scope on it. And he immediately folded up dead and crashed all the way to the ground. It was so cool. But I've also shot birds out of the air flying around with a 22 pistol, just like, and like shot them out of the air like that. I've done that multiple times with witnesses. When you do something cool, like you see it sometimes on like Reddit, some guy will he'll shoot a basketball shot and nobody saw him make it, and it's like, God damn, no one. But I was lucky. Every time I made one of those ridiculous shots like that, I was like, you saw that, right?
Witness.
Yeah. I want somebody to witness me when you do some cool shit. It doesn't. I'd rather not do it than do it without a witness.
Speaking of wildlife, I have a ton of clover in my backyard, and I like it. I think Woody and I are on the same page. I kind of like the look of clover.
Yeah, sure. You got bumblebees out there?
Got bumblebees out there, and neither of my I beat the shit out of them, and my both neighbors on either side of my house don't have as much clover as I do. And so what I've realized over the past couple of years is what that means is that I am like, my backyard is the bunny yard. And so all of the neighborhood bunnies are chilling in my yard all spring and summer. I walked out to my sunroom so I can kind of get a good view. I had to keep walking back because these guys have those prey eyes so they can fucking see you at anywhere for the most part, unless their ass is directly at you. And I was going to take a picture and send it to you guys, but then part of me was like, yeah, then they're going to see how much clover and bunny weeds are in my yard. And there were 3 bunnies hanging out at the same time. And there were cardinals that landed in the yard. Maybe, I don't think it's just the baseball team thing. Like we have a lot of cardinals here, and then a couple other like blue jays and things that I saw, and they were all like in the yard hanging out like a Disney movie. And I was like, this is awesome. I'm never ever spreading weed killer again. I want to be the bunny house, because the neighbors totally bereft of bunnies. I never see bunnies in their yard, but I have a ton of bunnies.
Female cardinals are brown.
then maybe they were female cardinals. I don't know, because there's a couple cardinals that I notice on my back fence all the time, but they're the red kind, like the male kind.
One of the trainers there told me something about horses that like a fit human runner can outpace a horse over like 100 miles. Like a horse is faster for 20, it's going to smoke you, but the downtime the horse requires, people are eventually faster than pretty much any other animal over
Any
a
animal. We are the most effective and efficient long distance runners in the animal kingdom. It's an ongoing meme on Reddit where I'll see like some wildebeest to be like, hairless humans tried to throw a rock at me. Ha ha! I ran from them. They followed. I ran again. They don't get tired. Oh no! Like, in comparison with those, that's how early man hunted. It was exhaustion hunting in Africa. They would just chase an antelope, and they do it in teams. The tribesmen still do it to some extent. They'll run as a team, and you'll have like guys coasting on each other, and you'll have one guy who's running ahead, and then he'll take a break and fall back, and someone else runs ahead, and you just keep exhausting whatever the animal is until it's collapsed and you can spear it to death.
I'm glad Kyle switched from we to they in his storytelling. When he was like, we can outrun any animal, we can outrun horses. I'm like, speak for yourself, bro.
We can, but we can't. All right, so like, if we had to run a marathon, our times would suck. They'd be embarrassing in the scale, but we could all run a marathon if we needed to. There'd be some walking. But if you made like a horse run that marathon and try to keep pace with us, I don't know if he'd do great. Maybe certainly if we did one of those ultra marathons, if we did one of those 100-mile deals, every animal's going to die behind us.
A lot of the Native American tribes, Cherokee in particular, had a technique because they had the Cherokee had sort of a male system almost with runners and things like that. The Incans had something similar as well. That a technique they used, and I don't know if they fully understood the science of it, but like apparently in your strides, like imagine when you're running, imagine when your leg is like as far forward as it can be. They would relax it just for a second, almost like in like a free fall, like a zero gravity, just for a second before the return stroke. And in doing so, it allowed that little bit of lactic acid to disperse out of the muscles, and they could run a lot farther by doing that sort of slack leg technique. And I kind of practiced it a little bit back when I was a little fitter and used to try to hike. So like as you kind of get used to it, you don't think about it after a while, but you can go farther. Like each time when your leg reaches that full extension in the front, you just sort of let it go slack for just a split second, but just enough pace by pace, it adds up. And they apparently did that crafted that for centuries to the point their guys could I think the Cherokee had some people who could run like 100 miles in a day.
Yeah, they did. So I got this is an excerpt from a book called the Gospel of the Red Man. The most famous runner of ancient Greece was Phidippides, whose record run from Athens to Sparta was 140 miles in 36 hours. Wow. Among Native Americans, such a feat would have been considered very second rate. In 1882 at Fort Elise, a young Cree who on foot had just brought in dispatches from a different fort, which was 125 miles away, in 25 hours.
Wow.
It created almost no comment. I heard that and no one thought, he's saying that no one thought that was unusual. They're like, yeah, a pretty good run was how people, another one, 2 Indian runners, gives their names. They ran 62.5 miles in 9 hours and 37 minutes. It's lots of these like going through it. This one mail carrier ran from Chihuahua to Badopolis, Mexico. It's 500 miles in a week.
How much food are they eating? Like they've got to be eating a crazy amount of food every time they stop just to fuel that.
God. This one Hopi messenger was known to run 120 miles in 15 hours. Man, the Arizona Indians were known to run down deer by sheer endurance, and every student of the Southwestern history will remember that Coronado's mounted men were unable to overtake the natives when in the hill country.
Makes sense.
They were chasing Indians on horses and couldn't catch them in the hills.
And that's crazy. And that's also barefoot or with moccasins at best. That's not with some Air Comanche Nikes or anything with all the pronation control and the spring and stuff. I mean, that's some
you got bugs biting you.
Man, you know what their feet look like though? Have you ever seen a native's feet? It's I remember I was watching this guy. He was talking about living with Amazonian tribes people for months. And he's like, and after a while, your feet, he called it elephant skin or something like that. Your feet just callous the fuck over. And they become like shoes. Like you become a hobbit if you don't wear shoes.
Wow. My feet are bad enough as it is. I'm a big old guy anyway, but I can never do that.
Do you wear big goofy shoes?
I do. Big old size 14s, man.
Woo!
Give me some church shoes though, and some wet grass. I can slide though.
Do they sell those at regular stores?
13, 14's about the limit. Anything bigger than that, yeah, you got to go somewhere special. I just barely made the cut.
Okay,
but I'm limited in my styles. So here's a funny thing. I was in the Galapagos Islands one time. I only brought one pair of shoes, and I step off the plane, and like by the time I get to like the boat off the little island that the airport's on, my shoes, I just walk out of my shoes. Like they just had disintegrated over the year I'd had them stored. So now I'm stuck basically with no shoes in the Galapagos. And, South American people are typically not big old American sized people. So finding a pair of size 13 or 14 shoes in the Galapagos was a chore. I literally tracked down the only two pairs, a big pair of work boots and this really dorky pair of Adidas. I'm not really like a tennis shoe guy, but I was so happy to find those Adidas. And to this day, they're the most comfortable shoes I've ever had. But I spent an entire day just going like, I can't remember what the translation was in their size 47 or whatever. I'd walk in every shoe store and just be like, they'd look at me and I'd be like, whatever, 54. And they would just laugh. And I would go to the next one and they'd be like, I'm 54. And they're like, look at each other. They're like, 37. I'm like, no,
you should have looked for a cobbler.
Exactly. Yeah, they weren't going for it.
They're trying to wrap you up in like banana leaves or something.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be fun.
Exactly. But finally I found some and I was thankful. But yeah, but yeah, the big that kind of running though just blows my mind. Those kind of distances. I mean, that's like way more hardcore than Cannonball. And speaking of running, like the Olympics, like I watched that with a friend of mine over the last summer, and it's like every time you see like the 8 fastest runners in the world running like 1,000 meters, like they should have somebody like me out there, like 800 meters behind them, like holding my side out of breath, like something, because you really can't appreciate how fast these people are without somebody like me out there just completely out of shape.
I couldn't agree more. Like the like pros versus Joes formula would work so well for every Olympic event. It would work well for eating competitions where you could see like Joey Chestnut and Kobayashi, and then like some guy who's like, I'm fucking hungry. And then you see him peter out after like the 5th dog. And he's trying and failing to do the disgusting dip in the water. Weightlifting, like world's strongest man. Pick like the biggest guy in the crowd and be like, you get to participate too. And just so you could see, it's like, wow, that guy's like
and one
the
woman.
Biggest dude. Yeah. And one chick. Then they can all bully her and be like, haha, if we were post-apocalyptic, I'd get rid of you.
They also let me do one for Naked and Afraid where I interviewed the contestants after the show. And so one of the things that I would do is I would say, hey, I would tell the crew, I'm going to eat what they ate. So one show I had to eat these giant live cockroaches was one of the grossest things I've ever done. But to be able to interview those people and kind of do that stuff with them was kind of cool also.
Oh yeah. That's got to be fun. Not the roach eating.
If you were going on Naked and Afraid, Taylor, well, maybe not you, because I don't know how. Well, yeah, you. I guess you work. I'll ask everyone, I suppose. Would you grow out the pubic hair for the warmth, or would you keep it as it normally is, sort of styled and coiffed and manicured up? Would you want the full Big Daddy bush? Because maybe that adds a little bit of privacy too. Cold night, we'd shrink right up in there.
I think
I would at least trim the hedges immediately around to maximize the look of the link.
Oh, you're going the other way. You're presenting.
You're going into the wilderness for 2 weeks and you have razor bumps. Like you're getting an infection. Wade through
Wait, Naked and Afraid, there's 2 people. There's a guy and a girl, right? They partner together.
Yeah.
I have to present the best version.
I would definitely let it.
I'd be a little chubbed up. I'd be taking my one bring along item would be my Blue Chew. I gotta stay vascular.
Every single time.
Like, I brought a knife. What did you bring? And I'm like, I don't want to talk about it.
I hope you brought something for clean water. I did not bring anything for clean water.
Like laying in a dirty swamp and you're asking her, like, just like thought experiment, like, do you think even with that knife you could stop me?
Mr. Battlefield, really, it's for both of us.
I'm going full bush.
Yeah, I'm going full bush, and I would also grow out my beard as long as possible because I feel like the more body hair I have, the more. Like, have you ever seen a mosquito try and bite like a Greek person's arm? No, not a chance. Not a fucking chance. Like that's what you want. You want that protective hair, that protective coat.
Yeah.
Because the
I
back
agree.
of my neck, like if I don't take care of this at haircuts, it just kind of becomes like upper, like it goes to like the hump of my back. I would,
It's
yeah,
a mullet
joint.
that goes to between your shoulder blades.
It goes to well, not that far down because I don't have any back hair, and so I wouldn't be protected there. So I'd have to fashion some sort of array of leaves as protection. But pubic hair, 100%, I'm letting it go crazy. And beard, I'm going crazy. I'm even gonna let it like go to where it gets to like.
Don't we have a razor sponsor tonight? Shouldn't we be saying we'd?
Yes. You know what? Actually, I was lying. What I would do is I would bring the one item I would bring when I'm gonna survive. It's a Harry's razor. Everyone in the comedy world knows not every joke delivers, but Harry's always delivers.